Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast as free agency continues to roll and the Bears do nothing? No.
No.
They were quiet.
They're pacing themselves.
They're pissing me off.
Settle down.
This is going to be a really interesting show today. The pre-show was fascinating.
It's a feisty pre-show. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr., Nicholas Moreano with us in studio as well today. Nick feels very far away from me.
Yeah,
I wish you were closer, Nick.
we're on opposite ends.
I feel close to you, Nick.
We have to separate you two goofballs, the serious people in the middle.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel close to you, Adam.
We should actually rearrange these seats where...
I liked the ranking idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One... But we could do it more like, is it Inside the NBA? You know, that awesome NBA show everybody watches, where they put Shaq and Barkley on opposite ends.
Right.
I don't know which one of you is Shaq and which one's Barkley.
You don't?
But
I'm Shaq. He's Barkley. I'm a champion. He's a loser. Let's keep going.
all set.
It's gonna be a good show.
I
can't wait.
I do think that's funny, so congratulations on making a funny. You made it funny.
You made it funny.
I'm actually Shaq and
Braggs
Barkley.
let me give Braggs his props. He's had a good morning. He made Steven, our producer, spit.
Yes, it
Was
was
that
cottage
yogurt?
cheese. It was cottage cheese. I'm
Cottage.
sorry about the last
That's
hour.
even
Cottage
grosser.
cheese.
I'm going to
Cottage
pretend it was
cheese.
yogurt because it ended up all over my keyboard.
Got a spit take. I've been on fire.
You have.
Okay.
Hit the like button. Let me say that properly. Also hit subscribe. Appreciate everybody watching yesterday, our 4-hour marathon that we had on free agency that probably only needed to be 90 minutes considering the moves the Bears actually made. But we were afraid to go off the air because we were afraid that if we stopped the show, a big move would be made and then the show ended and nothing really happened. A bunch of other people have signed, though. We'll continue to talk about that. We'll also talk about the very slow, perhaps almost non-existent Justin Fields market that needs to be discussed as well. And please make sure you hit that bell. Anytime breaking news happens, if there is a need for it, we will go live with an emergency podcast. So make sure you are subscribed to CHGO Sports. Hit that notification bell. Yesterday during the show, we picked up over 300 new subscribers.
That's awesome.
All right.
So,
Good job, you guys.
Absolutely. And Brian Schuster, you are right. My laptop does take a beating between the people. Carm spilling water all over it. The mouse still does not work. The cottage cheese incident was
It's a one-off.
it was a minor thing. It landed on a tiny little. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Now, I didn't know anybody still ate cottage cheese. That's kind of more of the headline of that
What's wrong
story.
with cottage cheese.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
you know,
I like
good
it.
for-
It's a
for-
good
I didn't know.
source of protein.
Good
in the
source
morning.
of protein. Just
I love cottage cheese, but don't want to talk about it right now. Can we focus, please? Darnell Mooney's in Atlanta. I'm feeling emotions. Justin Fields is still here. Bears, there's like at least a third of Bears Twitter that thinks he's here for good. A lot going on here, Hoge.
There is. I'm still trying to go through the intro of the show, though. Please check out our Twitter poll. Do you think Caleb Williams and Justin Fields can coexist on the same roster? Is the question today. And as a bonus, we actually did tweet it out today. So you have that to look for at CHGO_Bears.
We're getting better.
We're improving on the Twitter polls in that today it actually exists. All right, yeah, Darnell Mooney. I think the big headline so far this morning has been Darnell Mooney getting a big contract. I don't have the details.
3 years, $39 million with $26 million fully guaranteed in a contract negotiated by David Mulgeta and AJ Stevens of Athletes First.
What do you think that says about how the NFL views the Chicago Bears?
Okay, so he had 31 catches last year for 414 yards and 1 touchdown.
He was straight bad.
And he got a 3-year, $39 million contract with a lot of that money guaranteed.
The same money as Gabe Davis, who has had back-to-back seasons of 700-plus yards, who's had 14 touchdowns.
With Josh Allen as quarterback.
That's right.
Well, I mean,
but okay.
You look at Darnell Mooney's. So, look, the last 2 seasons, 493 yards in 2022. Was dealing with that ankle injury that he suffered in the game against the Jets. And then last season, played in 15 games of 414 yards. But you go back to that year in 2021 when he was a 1,000-yard receiver. And also something that maybe gets overlooked sometimes, like Darnell Mooney is a willing blocker. He's not the biggest guy, doesn't have the biggest frame, but he will go out and block for you. So this is a guy that I think, obviously last year was not the best situation for him to show the potential that he still has, because you look at that contract, you look at the guarantees, and then adding a playmaker for Kirk Cousins. That's, I think, telling of what obviously the Atlanta Falcons, what they think they can do in this offense in 2024. So you look at last season, Darnell Mooney, I think there were opportunities that were missed when you go back and watch some of those games, but good for Atlanta. Good for Darnell Mooney to get himself a big contract and to get some guarantees with him.
Yeah, it definitely good for him. I mean, he bet on himself, and even in a really down year, maybe the worst year of his career, he banked. I mean, reportedly was offered less, heading into the season by the Bears. I think the numbers thrown around were like 3 years, $10 million a year. That he potentially could have been offered by the Bears, reportedly turned down. But now, he enters this offseason and gets more. I certainly think I think a lot of Bears fans are probably surprised by that. But it definitely speaks to how the league viewed things here in Chicago when you consider Luke Getsy as an offensive coordinator. I understand he was their second option after Cliff Kingsbury ran out of town, but still, he's an offensive coordinator somewhere. Darnell Mooney's getting paid close to $40 million. And, now all these backups, which we'll get into later, are getting signed over the option of taking Justin Fields, who's making what? $3 million this year?
2.7.
$2.7 million. So I don't really understand what's going on in the Justin aspect, which we'll get into, but good for Darnell Mooney for getting his payday. He's a good dude, and he deserves it.
Well, there's also the health aspect of this, too. Let's not forget Mooney had that big the Atlanta Falcons, so he had the big injury at the end of 2 seasons ago. Last year, we were kind of like, is he not 100%? Is this the offense? Is this the quarterback? Is it Mooney? Is it all the above? Probably a mixture of both. But the Falcons are coming out right now with a very strong contract and saying, well, we think he's healthy, and we don't think it was his fault. That's what they're saying with this.
Yeah, right. They're betting on his health, and they're telling you flat out that, we see a dude that can get open, that the Bears were unable to use properly, that has they're also betting on a guy which the best part about this, or the easiest play, what I'm trying to say is that Darnell Mooney is going to work hard. He's going to be a great teammate. Mm-hmm. The Bears are going to miss him in that locker room. Mooney was incredibly well respected. Cole Kmet's been on the show, it's 1,000 times, and nearly every time it comes up as far as that locker room, Mooney gets a shout out. I'm going to miss Darnell Mooney. But I am surprised at the number that he got. I didn't think it was. He said he hasn't had one down year. He's had 2 down years in a row.
But it also speaks to the wide receiver market every year. It's a premium position, and you have to pay to get it. That's why it is so valuable to draft a wide receiver sometimes in the first round, and hopefully Rome Odunze or a guy like that can fall to 9, because when wide receivers hit the free agent market, and they rarely do, they get big paydays like this. So we saw Gabe Davis in the payday he got, and the Bears reportedly were, having a similar offer on the table, and he chose Jacksonville. So that's the market for wide receivers. So it is in your best interest to draft wide receivers so you don't have to pay them until down the road. You think Darnell Mooney got a lot of money? Wait till DJ Moore potentially becomes available in a couple of years, unless the Bears are going to, smartly re-up on him.
Well, hopefully one good thing about this, by the way, is that Atlanta's got the 8th pick. They just signed Mooney. Does that make them less likely to be in the receiver world
They got Drake London. They got they have a bunch of weapons already on offense. So
John Robinson and running back.
yeah.
Right.
Kirk
Maybe
Cousins,
they go defense there.
Kirk Cousins to distribute the ball. I mean, that Falcons team's looking pretty solid on offense right now.
So you would think that hopefully will benefit the Bears sitting at 9 if the Bears end up keeping the 9 pick, which I'm highly skeptical that they will, but we'll see.
By the way, Jeff Howe from The Athletic reporting that the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes is down to the Jaguars and the Patriots.
Well, that's
not mentioning the Bears in there.
That's interesting when you bring up sweepstakes because the Gabe Davis deal with Jacksonville, apparently the Bears were right there. They were willing to pay the Davis freight.
According to Henry McKenna, Gabe Davis had similar offer from the Bears but went to the Jaguars per a source close to the situation. The Bills couldn't make a competitive offer. Davis wanted to go back to Florida. He can work with former Bills wide receivers coach Chad Hall. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence helps too.
So, I mean, it just shows you the Bears were at least looking into this market, the wide receivers, and seeing if they can, find not obviously a number one guy, but someone that can complement a DJ Moore, more of that number 2, number 3 role. Still a guy that's still out there on the market, Curtis Samuel, someone that maybe could potentially be someone that could be productive in this offense, but at least the Bears are looking.
And he played with DJ Moore.
Yes,
in
yeah, back in,
So, there's some history there. For me, I would have liked Gabe Davis. I know some people were like, oh, we dodged a bullet by Gabe Davis picking Jacksonville over Chicago. He's had drops, with Josh Allen, but I always thought Gabe Davis was a solid wide receiver as he was up and coming. I guess it's a different conversation if he's worth the money he got paid. But at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers for the Bears. They need wide receiver help in that room, both with veteran presence and through the draft. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach this.
Gabe Davis won me some fantasy weeks this year, and so I'm sure he did that for other people too. Mm-hmm. Not the most consistent. You mentioned that yesterday, Hoge.
Right? Because he would have. If we're going to talk fantasy, he would also have weeks where he had 0.
Yeah, he was. But I played him because you wanted the big. Well, first of all, my roster
showed us in the playoffs.
But regardless of all that, what I want to get to with it, and maybe it's not necessarily any indictment on the Bears because he. Shane Waldron is choosing to come to Chicago to be the offensive coordinator. The entire staff as a whole, basically, it seems like a lot of people are bullish on where the Bears are going. Here's a guy who was going to get a chance to come here, perhaps play with the number 1 overall pick, and or Justin, however you want to go with it, most likely the number 1 pick, and just looked at Jacksonville. Not necessarily an ideal situation. That seems not perfect. Maybe you just wanted to be back in Florida. But I do kind of wonder if receivers look at this place where the leading receiver in the history of the franchise is Johnny Morris that none of these guys have ever heard of. And they wonder, maybe this is not the best place for me to go, even on a short-term deal, because I'm not going to get the football.
Well, I mean, maybe you could, enlighten them, the guy that Johnny Morris was. I mean, when you were covering him, what was that like? Like, to see him take over the league. And
by the way, Johnny Morris, legendary curler in Canada.
Okay.
For really,
I'm just asking, what was Sid Luckman like in the locker room? Was he nice?
Being an ageist like that you are, Braggs, and trying to bang on us grandpas out here, it's just not nice.
Bang on us grandpas.
It's not nice.
Why do you always
you're
have
banging,
to,
you're banging
why
grannies. You're banging grannies in the summer.
Bang on us
I'm not saying
grandpas.
that.
always,
other
you
end
have
of
a
that
way
sentence.
with words
Yeah, I do.
that somehow always come back to sex. Have you realized this?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But
This is almost
the
over-under on every show is about right where we're at, about 14 and a half minutes in.
Sex is good. I promote sex. If you're having it, that's fantastic.
Bang on us.
I've said that
grandpas.
before. I'll say it again.
Big fan of sex.
When is...
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Are we not all together that sex is good and we should incorporate it into our language more? I think I'm doing great things for the world once again.
All right. We're all on the same page there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just, you have a weird way of wording things that immediately are just odd.
You should be joining me in telling Braggs not to call me old because it's not nice and it hurts my feelings.
Hoge's young,
I kind of support Bragg.
young and wild. And
Steven,
free.
can we look at the quarterback market and kind of what's been happening here with some of the movement? Because
Literally anything else would be better than this talk.
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I don't appreciate that. That felt like somebody I remember. Keep going.
Here's a look at all of the
Steven is dead.
quarterback movement that's been going on. We kind of separated this into starters and probably more likely backups, but obviously Kirk Cousins moving to the Falcons. Russell Wilson to the Steelers. Gardner Minshew, Carm's guy, calling it out yesterday correctly, going to the Raiders. Sam Darnold to the Vikings. That one happened overnight. So they replaced Kirk Cousins with Sam Darnold. Right now, he figures to be the most obvious chance to start. Although, as I've been trying to tell you, I think there's a real J.J. McCarthy or other rookie quarterback situation there potentially for the Vikings as they probably go down that road to reset. Mac Jones gets traded to the Jaguars. Jacoby Brissett signs with the Patriots. Jameis Winston signs with the Browns. Tyrod Taylor goes across Jersey Shore, whatever they call it there, from the Giants to the Jets. Mitch Trubisky goes back to Buffalo, and Marcus Mariota signs with the Commanders. So a whole lot of quarterback movement here, none of which involves Justin Fields. And regardless of where you're at in this conversation, the reality is that multiple teams now have decided that they would rather, like the Minshew one specifically.
Yeah.
It's not crazy backup quarterback money if you're even going to look at it that way. Although right now he figures to be the starter, over Aiden O'Connell, I would think. They're going to pay that much money over, like, even if you're at this point where you're looking at, like, I'm going to give up a mid-round pick to take a flyer on Justin Fields for $2.7 million for 2024. I'm not even going to worry about the fifth-year option.
Right.
Not picking that up.
Right.
That seems fucking wild to me.
I agree.
I mean, you can paint us here on this show however you want as Justin Fields haters, and you cannot be more wrong, because this is where I honestly take offense to this. Justin Fields is better than that.
Yeah.
Like
The Sam Darnold thing, too. I'm not sure if the Vikings would be an option as a trade partner for Poles, but
right within the division, that's tough.
but still, Sam Darnold, have fun, Minnesota. Please sign him to a 4-year deal.
The way this market has been developed against Justin Fields is crazy to me. Crazy to me. It's really weird. He is, and as much as I have been consistent on this from the end of the season on, Justin Fields, in my opinion, is an NFL starter. He's better than a lot. Could we put that graphic back up? Yeah. Let's play this game real quick.
Who would you rather have?
Right.
Is that the game?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields?
I'm like the only one that actually would rather have Fields than the money they gave Cousins.
The money's part of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Injury, age. I mean, you got to factor in all
money
those things.
not included, I go Cousins. But that contract, like, I'll sit here and actually defend the Vikings for losing Cousins. That's crazy
A lot
money
of guarantees too
for Kirk Cousins, who's 36 now, coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
Yeah.
Supposedly looks good. They've seen him play tennis, and Kirk's moving around. But the dude's 36 years old, coming off an Achilles, $50 million.
Yeah. Now, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields, for me. I said this yesterday.
Again, money and draft picks not included, I would go Fields. I do sort of understand the Steelers because they get Russell Wilson dirt cheap and did not have to give up a draft pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they would have had to do for Justin. So I can kind of understand that one. All right, who's next? Gardner Minshew. For that money versus Justin Fields, even with the Luke Getsy thing included in that, I would take Justin Fields.
I'm trying to think why exactly. I mean, the 2 years, $25 million. Gardner Minshew did beat the Raiders on December 31st, 23-20, threw for 224 yards, a touchdown, and a win. I don't know, maybe that influenced them. Like, look what this guy did, but yeah, I'd rather have Justin
Carm,
Fields
you're
there.
the Gardner Minshew guy.
Here's where I'll get in trouble with the chat, but I like Gardner Minshew. If you told me that, it's different with the Raiders though.
If they were both free, though, who would you pick?
Well, it depends where my team is at. If I'm trying to win next year,
Okay,
and I got to win, I'd take Gardner over him. But if I'm the Raiders, like they're not in that position. This is a team that's trying to become a playoff team. I'd way rather develop Justin. That doesn't make sense to me.
it's so weird. And then Sam Darnold,
That makes no sense on any level.
Well, and that's the thing. I honestly think we can even take the difficulty of the division. It seems like the Vikings had no interest in Justin. Like Sam Darnold was their backup plan if they lost Cousins all along, is what it sounds like.
Well, and
it's like
the Vikings are saying back, did you see the game where you guys beat us 12-10 and he made
and
one good throw?
And the Vikings were reportedly trying to move up in the draft last year to draft a quarterback. So you have to think with that move that's a tell that they're going to try to either move up in the draft or draft one that falls to them.
Yeah, I think they're going to draft a quarterback.
A lot of people pin them with J.J. McCarthy, but they might have to move up to 8 or 9 to get him there potentially. But, to me, this whole thing, this idea of like Justin not having a suitor, Adam Schefter was talking about it this morning, that teams are viewing him as a backup. To me, it's bullshit. I am very
What part of that is bullshit?
It's bullshit that's where it's gone with him. Like that no team wants to give him a shot as a starter. As you mentioned, for the money you're going to pay him on a 1-year deal, you catch lightning in a bottle with Justin Fields. Now all of a sudden he's only entering his 4th year of his career. He's already shown an ability to make dynamic plays, and so there is something there that you can try to see if you can find. And if you do, now all of a sudden you have a franchise quarterback. I get there's a bit of a risk because you're bringing a guy into a new system. But at the same time, it makes no sense to me that guys like Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold, and even Kirk Cousins to a larger extent, who's, obviously would be the most successful quarterback the Bears have ever had if you put his stats and put him on Chicago. But at the same time, are you trying to just stay in the middle as an organization, or are you trying to take a swing and see if you can make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl and find your chance at a franchise quarterback? And maybe Fields isn't that guy. Maybe you swing and miss, but take a swing.
Kirk Cousins has played in 4 playoff games, has won 1 of them.
Wow.
Is coming off an Achilles and is 36 years old. You're telling me you want to rather have... Is it really that, like, I understand, trust me, I understand this from a football schematics standpoint. Is Kirk Cousins, as a coach, are you going to be more relaxed with the idea of Kirk Cousins distributing the ball to those weapons? Probably. Okay, but then you throw in all the money and the craziness. Is it really that different? 1 year, $2.7 million to take a flyer on Justin Fields versus that contract you just gave a 36-year-old coming off an Achilles who's won 1 playoff game his entire career. You're telling me you can't live with Justin Fields on the same field as Bijan Robinson,
Kyle Pitts,
Drake London, now Darnell Mooney, who's already worked with Fields. Like, come on, that is wild to me.
And the crazy thing, real quick too, is like the Vikings. Obviously, the guarantee is probably why Kirk Cousins is not there, but they didn't view him as that guy that can get them to that next level. But the Falcons do, and that's how like this quarterback market kind of just fluctuates here. How different quarterbacks can be viewed and where they can potentially take him. The Vikings obviously didn't agree to that, and that's why he's on the Atlanta Falcons. But that's where Kirk Cousins has always lied, in that realm of where he's going to put up these numbers. He's going to, I think, distribute the football. But does anyone realistically think that Kirk Cousins is going to take you to the Super Bowl? The Falcons obviously do, but clearly that's not what the Vikings were thinking.
So there's a large portion, sizable portion is I think the word I'm looking for, of Bears fandom right now that believes that Fields has never been actually made available, and that the Bears have not made their decision yet. Jake Flanagan, our general,
you don't actually believe that.
He does believe that. He kind of believes it.
No, I talked to him about that an hour and a half ago. He doesn't believe it.
He'd like to believe it. He definitely would like to
He
believe it.
would like to believe it.
I mean, I had a very spirited text exchange with my guy Will Taplin, who's thrown in some super chats here over time. One of the great vendors of all time. Always tip your vendors. And he's just convinced that the media is getting this totally wrong.
Well, we have a report right now, in the moment.
Yeah.
That we can put up here.
Yeah, go ahead.
From Jeff Howe from The Athletic, who just put out a tweet 9 minutes ago. Bears quarterback Justin Fields remains a trade candidate. Per sources, there's been interest, and the market is evolving with other veteran free agents finding homes over the past couple days.
Well, I mean, I said it after Kirk Cousins was signed, and then Gardner Minshew ended up getting signed, so I was slightly wrong. But as soon as Kirk Cousins was signed, I said on the show, well, now Justin Fields is the best option available.
And 6 quarterbacks have gone since.
And 6 quarterbacks have gone since. And that's what I mean. Like, it is borderline offensive. And this is where I don't agree with some of the Bears fans, some of our people in the chat, some of the people I talk with on a daily basis. You can think Caleb Williams is the better option for the Bears going forward, but you're not going to try to sell me that Justin Fields sucks.
Right.
He doesn't suck.
And we've been consistent on that all along, as much as Bears Twitter wants to paint us in a different light.
Well, I mean, that's how it goes. If you say you want Caleb, then you think Justin sucks. If you want to keep Justin, then you think Caleb sucks.
I think it's fair for us to point out that's not reality. That's not what we think.
It isn't, but that's kind of where we're at in the conversation. Everybody's going to draw their lines on the sand. You're on this side. You're on Team Caleb. You're on Team Justin. If you want Caleb, you think he's the Messiah. That's a strategy to try to win an argument. Use hyperbole to make your argument sound, that it doesn't have any good standing or basis on it. So, no, I don't think Justin Fields sucks, and it is surprising to me how the market has moved for him and the interest hasn't been where it is. And I don't know. Yesterday we have Ian Rappaport come out and say the Bears haven't been, calling people, haven't been shopping Justin Fields. Then Adam Schefter comes out.
Looking at him would be looking at him as a backup.
Right. Then Adam Schefter puts it out, a little different this morning. So it's hard to gauge exactly why there hasn't been movement. And does it assign, we talked about this yesterday, and is there part of the reason that they're waiting to go to Caleb Williams' Pro Day next Wednesday? They're waiting to have a private meeting with Caleb Williams so they can, because when you watch that 1920 football drive, you're saying no, but when you watch that 1920 football drive and Matt Eberflus says, we have a great opportunity this offseason, but we are going to be diligent. We are going to, do our due diligence, cross our T's, dot our I's, and we're not going to skip steps. And so when I hear that, like, to me, that means, even though we might be down the road on we're going to make this decision, we need to be 100% sure. Because when you rewind back to when Ryan Pace decided to draft Mitch Trubisky, you've had on people that were part of the organization. Hoge, you talked to Josh Lucas, and they said one of the mistakes they made is they made that decision too early. And so that's the problem. A good GM, even if you have your mind made up, you still have to think of all the different scenarios.
Do you think if someone had offered Justin a first-round pick for Justin Fields, he would have been traded?
Yes.
Okay, well then I don't know what we're talking about
here. Yeah, that has nothing to do with Justin. That has something to do with if the Bears are going to evaluate Caleb versus Daniels versus May versus Bo Nix, whoever you want to throw in there, JJ. I'm surprised by the market a little bit, but I think it's very clear before we move on from this conversation for at least the moment that nobody in the league is telling you that nobody wants to or is willing to give up any level of a premium pick, and I would include at least second round, maybe even third round that the Bears would do, to try to formulate an offense around Justin next year for one season. They're not willing to do it. This is what I'm learning from what's going on right now, that he's a unique player and that it would take a unique system in the league's mind for him to be successful, and no one is signing up for that, even at $2.7 million for 1 year. Don't give him the fifth year, the whole thing. So anyway, that's what I think.
All right,
that's what I think.
We're going to shift the conversation here a little bit. We are going to come back to the Justin Fields trade market later on in the show, because we need to talk about what options might still be there for him in a potential trade, and we've all picked a team that we'll break down where it could still happen. But in the meantime, there were moves made in the last couple days with the Bears signing a couple former Eagles. So we're bringing in our guy Bo Wolf here momentarily from PHLY to help us break down those players. But first, want to make sure you're all caught up on everything going on at Circa Sportsbook, our partners. We appreciate them very much. With Circa, if you haven't checked them out yet, you'll find that games strive to be at a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu. Unlike other sportsbooks, they're going to get you with -115 or -120. What does that mean? Well, those sports books are taking more of your money off the top. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible in large market bets, especially compared to other books. They have high app limits. They're always transparent. Circa Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. They encourage bettors to download and explore other sports betting apps. You do that, you're going to find they have the minus 110 versus those other ones. Go ahead and compare the lines from each sports book. You'll see Circa's the best. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, text GAMB to 833-234, or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
Check out Circa Sports, and then you have to check out CD1 Price Cleaners. Look, they have low prices. Customers save over 30% on their dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. They're also simple and transparent services. Other cleaners charge a different price for every garment type. Plus, they have upcharges, and you may pay a different price each time you visit. At CD1 Price Cleaners, they charge one low price for any garment. Yep, even sports jerseys, the same low price. They also have that fast turnaround. CD1 Price Cleaners has your order ready the same or even next day. Other cleaners take 2 to 4 days to have your clean garments ready. They have those text alerts. CD1 Price Cleaners sends you a text when your order is ready for pickup. That's super convenient. And they also have a wide variety of services. They have dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets and comforters, tailoring and alterations, leather cleaning, and area rug cleaning. And all you have to do is visit chgo.cd1.com. The link is also in the description. Once there, you can pick from an in-store coupon or online pickup and delivery coupon options.
All right, time to bring in our guy, Bo Wolf, who covers the Eagles for PHLY. Does a great job. They just wrapped up their show doing that as Jake is putting propaganda on our set.
Like perfectly placed.
What does that say?
I can't see. What's it say?
All right. Fields is a top 32 quarterback on planet Earth.
Sign management.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Top 32? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's not a problem. We can leave that on the
Carm
screen.
is a top 32 sports media guy. He's been trying to get into that top 20 list.
Braggs has been talking for 32 minutes. The shows he's been on for 32 minutes.
Well, welcome to the show. This is what we do here. We just yell at each other constantly.
Listen, I'm happy to be on another All-City show spreading the important message that sex is good.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Bo.
It is accurate. It's an accurate statement. All right, Bo, a couple of free agents here the Bears have signed coming over from Philadelphia, so we wanted to pick your brain. Let's start with DeAndre Swift. For those of us that didn't watch every snap of DeAndre Swift's season last year, his 1 year with the Eagles, what are the Bears getting here?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was sort of a different year than we expected for DeAndre Swift when the Eagles, traded for him at the start of day 3 of the draft last year. They knew that this was a guy going into the last year of his rookie deal. It was kind of like, from my perspective, what they had done with Miles Sanders, where they were going to maybe run this guy sort of into the ground if they could. But there were two different things about Swift this year than I was expecting. One, he had real trouble staying healthy the first 3 years of his career in Detroit, and he was very reliable and healthy all season long. It was like a career high in carries for him. The flip side to that is we thought he was going to be a much bigger part of the offense as a pass catcher, which was like his big deal in Detroit, and he did not do that here. Now, part of that is probably the offense a little bit. Part of it is like a quarterback like Jalen Hurts doesn't necessarily check down to the running back a lot because he can just use his legs in those situations. But from my vantage point, I was surprised at how good he was between the tackles. I didn't expect that. There was a little bit of patience and a little bit of make you miss at the line of scrimmage that I didn't think he had in him. It was an odd arc of the year because week 1, he had 1 touch. He was very clearly the backup to Kenneth Gainwell. And then Kenneth Gainwell got hurt in that game. And in the week 2, DeAndre Swift has 28 carries for 175 yards. And he has 300 yards rushing over a 2-week span. And as I thought back on it, my memory was that he was way better in the first half of the season than he was in the second half of the season. But the numbers don't really back that up. He was about 4.5 yards a carry in both if you split it first half, second half. I'm not surprised the Eagles didn't bring him back. I don't think that was ever really their plan. I think it's kind of funny that 2 years in a row now, the very first move of free agency has been the Bears jumping to sign an ex-Eagles player. But I think I can sort of talk myself into there being more upside with Swift, but I would worry that he might be coming off like what was the healthiest season of his career.
So everything you just said, what did you think about the contract, the money that the Bears paid for him?
Yeah, I would probably rather have him than Tony Pollard, who signed like the same deal, right? Just because I think there's more upside. I would worry that Pollard, he's been used a little bit too much. I think it's a reasonable deal. The running back market, like the middle of the market, is higher than I expected. I thought Swift was going to be more like 6 or 7, but I can sort of talk myself into it. I mean, there is some explosiveness. And that's the thing to pay for. Like I would probably rather have him at 8 than Saquon Barkley at 13, I think. But I would personally, I would just not pay for a running back. But I guess if you're building around a number one pick at quarterback, you need somebody who can take some of the touches.
What's your guess on why the Eagles looked at that differently, Bo? Because they made the decision they made.
Yeah, I think they probably thought that they got the best season of his career so far, and they weren't going to pay for that to bet on repeating. And I think that they're a little bit enamored with the idea of Saquon Barkley, taking him out of what was just one of the worst offensive situations anybody could possibly imagine for his entire career, and putting him in a place where defenses aren't going to be keyed in on him and have to deal with a quarterback who's a rushing threat. If you get Saquon Barkley in the open field, I think they think that he brings an elite ceiling to the offense, and that's their path to success. I think DeAndre Swift is a good running back, but not a differentiating running back.
One stat real quick here. Yards after contact per attempt 2023. We did some research last night. Nick and I were playing around with this. 2.42 was the number. Where does that rank? 84th among running backs. Now, you said a second ago that you liked him between the tackles, but this is not a guy that's going to be running people over. What would be your response to Bears fans thinking that, hey, this is a guy that does not like contact?
Yeah, I don't think that that's wrong. I would say that he was better than my expectations between the tackles, but my expectations were very low and probably aligned with what Bears fans are thinking. Another stat that sort of says the exact same thing: he was hit in the backfield the lowest percentage of any running back in the league on his carries because of just how good the Eagles running game is. I think it was 22% or something like that. And so he's going to be going to a more difficult situation. But my scouting report on him coming in was that this is a guy who was just going to want to bounce everything outside, and he was more willing to do stuff in the middle of the line of scrimmage than I was expecting. But yeah, he is not, he's not a people mover. He is not a short yardage back by any stretch.
I did have one quick question on DeAndre Swift from a pass blocking perspective. What was your evaluation of in there? Because the Bears have had trouble finding running backs that, are good at pass blocking.
Not good. And there were times when they could not keep him on the field on third down, and he was not on the field in 2-minute drill situations. They gave those snaps to Kenny Gainwell. He was not reliable, and there were a few memorable plays over the course of the season where he missed a guy in pickup, and Jalen Hurts got hit because of it.
Yeah, that was a big problem for the Bears last year. I've heard Shane Waldron doesn't rely on his running backs to block as much. I guess 17% of their snaps had running backs back to block. But I want to switch over to the other side of the ball with Kevin Byard. The Eagles defense 2 years ago when you guys got to the Super Bowl was one of the best in football, and it seemed like last year was kind of a mess with the movement on the defensive coordinator front. Kevin Byard obviously has had a good resume here in the league. How do you think that fit here in Chicago will be, and what you thought of him as an Eagle last year?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that of all the contracts that I saw over the past 72 hours, this was the one that made me raise my eyebrows the most. Just having watched Kevin Byard this year, he looked like a player who was over the hill. Now, he was in a very difficult situation, getting traded to a new team in the middle of the season, and then that team changes scheme midway through. But he did not look like a player who has a lot left to give to me. And given the state of the safety market in free agency, where there are 15 guys who are starting caliber, the rush to sign Kevin Byard to a pretty expensive deal on Sunday before free agency even opened, that really I was what are they doing? And so obviously they think something that I don't know, but I was a little bit blown away by that contract.
But hopefully Kevin Byard plays a little bit better than he did last season for the Bears. Look, the Eagles right now, I'm looking at the quarterback position. Outside of Jalen Hurts, they don't have anybody in that backup role. Adam Schefter came out earlier today that teams that may be viewing Justin Fields would be in a backup role. Is that something that you could envision, ever thought about? If that were to be what the Bears would want to do, would that even fit in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of like sexy headline grabbing move that Howie Roseman would make. Now they have this guy who was a 6th round pick last year, Tanner McKee, who looked great in the summer, and I think they want him to be their backup quarterback, their number 2 quarterback. But one of the ramifications of the cap raising as much as it did is that like the Eagles paying Jalen Hurts does not crunch them as much as they thought, and it means that maybe they can spend a little bit on a backup quarterback. And it's probably not dissimilar to how they viewed Gardner Minshew, trading for Gardner Minshew a couple seasons ago, where like you can get maybe 1 year of this guy as a backup quarterback. I bet that if the price comes down enough, they might be interested in Justin Fields as a 1 year backup quarterback, and they can rebuild his value potentially and maybe get a comp pick for him or even trade him midway through the season. It is the kind of like sexy player with a name that I think the Eagles would be interested in if the price came down enough.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be that's where this might be headed, where a team picking up Justin Fields wouldn't even be really worried about the 5th-year option, but all of a sudden you're talking about 1 year, $2.7 million, which is a bargain for even, in some cases, a third quarterback on your roster these days.
Right.
And no obligation beyond then. It's just what the draft pick compensation is at that point. And at this point, it just seems like it's a lot lower than we all thought here in Chicago. Were we just being biased towards Justin Fields here? I guess it's interesting hearing an outside perspective. Like, are you surprised that there's not a bigger market right now for Justin Fields from your perspective?
Totally. Like, Sam Darnold getting $10 million a year? Like, why? What is the upside you're talking yourself into there? Like, we have seen these guys play. I'm not the world's biggest Justin Fields fan, but for a team that is like, throwing darts, I would certainly think that there is more upside with Justin Fields than, Gardner Minshew or Sam Darnold. It's you guys know this, like, coaches don't love the unknown, right? If they can just get a guy who can do what they want him to do, like, a Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew, that guy might not be very good, but it's not as much work for them. If you trade for Justin Fields, all of a sudden you got to like change everything you're doing. You got to put in a little bit more time. And like, it's like any job. Sometimes people are just lazy. I think that might be a part of it. Now, maybe it's like if you trade for Justin Fields, you're changing the expectations of your winning window or something like that. But I am absolutely caught off guard by how tepid the market has been.
Well, let's make a deal right now. The Eagles have 3 5th-round picks. 2 of them are compensatory, 171 and 172. Give me 171 and 172. You can have Justin. Deal? We good?
Yeah, I think that's a good deal. I think we're good to go there.
What do you think? Can I just get it done?
Come on, man. Throw in that 3rd-round pick. What do you
I don't think he'll do it.
The worst negotiator in the world.
It was a bad negotiation. Well, let me go back. I wanted
no. There's no takebacks.
No, there is. This is my game.
My game.
The 3rd and the 5th, Bo.
No, I don't think they would. I don't think they would do a 3rd.
See, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
But you start there, then
That's
you go
good.
to
yeah,
the.
No, you don't.
I just
you
get
gotta,
it done,
you gotta
man.
trust the negotiator. If they're bringing you a bad offer to begin with, then all of a sudden I don't want to make a deal. This is a guy who means business.
That's right. I came into play. We got it done. Fields to the Eagles for 2 5th-round picks. Bears are going to draft some Hall of Fame wide receiver there. Win.
Bo, actually, really quickly, speaking of like the draft and draft picks, obviously with Jason Kelsey retiring, are the Eagles in like? Do you have a sense that the Eagles would like Jackson Powers Johnson because they need to back off? because the Bears fans would love to have a guy like that. But is there a sense that he may be actual candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I don't think they would go interior offensive line. I think their priority is going to be finding a long-term replacement for Lane Johnson at right tackle, who they think has maybe 2 years left at best, but he has also been injured consistently over the past couple seasons. They have drafted future replacements for Jason Kelce over the years. Cam Jurgens is the guy from a couple years ago who was going to be the starting center this year. They signed Matt Hennessy today to be a guy who can compete at right guard with their third-round pick last year, Tyler Steen. I think in the first or second round, the Eagles are absolutely going to draft a tackle, especially because the class seems to be so deep there. But I think they would probably wait until later in the draft to draft a developmental backup type in the interior.
Can we underline what's happened, though, in this interview with Bo? You just basically have told us that the Bears made a horrible signing at safety and a bad signing at running back. Bad signing at running back
is fine.
Wait, are you...
Yeah.
Now you sound like one of our listeners who thinks we hate Justin Fields. Are you listening?
I am listening.
He was fine with the Swift signing.
He called Byard old and bad, maybe not the exact words, and he called Swift I wouldn't have paid him. I did, he's okay.
Byard one is bizarre to me. I do have to say, there are so many guys available who I would have rather had, especially at whatever they're going to cost.
And you wouldn't have done the Swift deal, right?
Probably not.
He said 6 to 7. They signed him for 8.
He said we brought in a guy who's watched them both, and he was at best tepid on the Swift, and he hates Byard. So you could spin us in whatever world that you want to be there. Fields
Kevin
called
Byard, nice guy.
Nice guy. All right,
Good
another
interview.
nice guy.
We like nice guys.
We got another nice guy.
He came in week 7, had to learn a new system. Let's see how it plays out when he has an off season to get with the teammates and stuff. And
Yeah, Bo.
Listen, TJ Edwards is awesome. He's fun.
Did you know that we made a good signing when we picked TJ from you? Did you think that was good?
I think I did. I thought that was a pretty good signing. Yeah.
Okay, but you had your doubts on TJ. Say that. It'll make Bears fans feel better.
Well, I didn't expect the Eagles to pay that much just because of the position, but I thought that TJ Edwards was a good player, a starting caliber linebacker for sure.
Hey, what happened with Sean Desai? I mean, we're familiar with him here in Chicago. I think a lot of people think very highly of him as a coach. And then things kind of fell apart at the seams for you guys last year, and it even started to trickle out with players putting things out on social media or through the media of their voicing their displeasure. What went wrong there?
It's like the $1 million question that everybody's trying to figure out. He was put in a terrible situation, it seems like, and the way that they sort of fired him but made him stay on camera and promoted him to the booth and just put him on TV the whole time was I thought really kind of nasty the way that they sort of did him. I think that there was just disagreement about the way that he was doing some things schematically on defense, but not to the point that they should have replaced him with Matt Patricia. I mean, Matt Patricia's history as a defensive coordinator is not very good. It was a kind of a bizarre move, and I think was the beginning of the end for the Eagles season. So I think Sean Desai got a totally raw deal, and he had some really good games over the first half of the season. They shut down the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football with a really interesting game plan. They shut the Chiefs out in the second half of the win over the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. I thought Desai got kind of a raw deal.
Matt Patricia has to be the only NFL coach ever to, on Wikipedia, have his title listed as de facto defensive coordinator. That's literally what it says on Wikipedia for his 2023 Eagles season.
Ouch.
My final question to you, Bo. Your rivals, Washington Commanders, in the quarterback market. I'll even add Caleb Williams to the discussion because I think there's a lot of Bears fans that think Washington might trade up, being the hometown kid there. What quarterback scares you the most if Washington were to bring in a rookie quarterback to the division?
I mean, I guess Caleb Williams, but I will say that I haven't done as much work on the quarterbacks yet, just because the Eagles aren't in the market. But just from having watched those guys, yeah, Caleb Williams is the guy who scares me for a franchise that is as poorly run as the Commanders. Somebody with a little bit of uniqueness would scare me more than I don't know that I would trust the Commanders to bring along Drake May in a successful way.
Oh, thanks for jumping on with us today. We really appreciate it. Good stuff. And I'm sure your guys' shows over the last few days with everything the Eagles are doing. been pretty hot, so we'll be checking it out. PHLY. Go check them out.
Thanks for the deal, Bo. I'll send you those pics right over. No problem.
Yeah, thanks. Go Sex.
Go Sox.
Go
Sex.
Sex.
That was terrible negotiating skills there.
Okay, I got the deal done. You don't have to talk about it anymore. You should be thanking me. Thank you to Miller Lite, who does thank me every day because they understand greatness, unlike some people on this program. Some things need to change. One thing that doesn't, me, and the great taste of Miller Lite. It was the original light beer, and to this day, it is still the best one. Miller Lite, more of the taste you want, less of the stuff you don't. I could use one right now. Ooh, it's just the way they keep it simple, the undebatable quality, the great taste. They're kind of like the Duke. They're the brilliance that the Duke brings to the table. Same exact thing going on here. Great taste, only 96 calories. The beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. No matter how your team changes, you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, you can go to MillerLite.com/CHGO football. Great way to support us. Great way to enjoy your beverage. Or, of course, you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. MillerLite.com/CHGO football.
That's right. I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to become a diehard here at CHGO Sports. You get a free shirt right out the gate. We've dropped some new apparel. Our Chicago collection just dropped last week here, as you see here on the screen. I picked up a lot of these different designs. In fact, all of them. You got the St. Patty's Day CHGO. You got the Metra. You got all sorts of different things here that you can pick up. Free shirt right out the gate. Like I said, if you become a diehard. Adam Hoge's newsletter is exclusive to diehards only. He puts that out weekly. Mark Carman's grades during the season. You got to get yourself ready for the season. Even though
The way I interact with the Discord is my
Discord. Mark's always in the Discord dropping knowledge
always.
like he does here on the show.
Thank you.
Always in the
Okay.
Discord.
Always.
We do diehard overtimes, which is in our Discord channel, voice channels, where after shows you guys can ask us questions. Discounts on future shirts. You get discounts on future events, including our draft party, which is imminent to be announced here for the Thursday and Friday of the draft. First, second, and third rounds. We're going to be live just like we were last year. Corey Wooten will be on hand for both nights. Have a lot of really cool things planned, so stay tuned for those announcements. If you become a diehard, you get a discount on that event and any future events, including our tailgates that we do during the season. So head over to allchgo.com/diehard, become a diehard, and hang out with us all day, every day. CHGO Sports.
All right, we got a big super chat from the Duke, I know, in here.
Old
that we
Dookie.
should get to right now.
So it makes my day every day, Duke. Whenever you do this, just know that.
Yep, and then we're going to get to our possible landing destinations for Justin Fields. We'll wrap up with more super chats as well. But $200 from the Duke. Let's go, Duke. We appreciate you. I haven't received any offers for my house. I won't put it on the market till I know I want a new house I like better than the one I have. Must mean market is non-existent for my house. Poles likes Justin and won't make him available unless he knows he wants Caleb first. Hashtag use logic.
Duke.
That's what I tried to say, and Carm gave me that stupid look he always gives me, and Hoge told me to shut up.
Right, because
He added, Duke had a $20 super chat. The housing market is hot. $20 super chat. The housing market is hot. The QB market is hot. But houses don't get serious offers unless you know the owner wants to sell. By your logic, every house on the market has no value. Shake my head. And Duke's a businessman, so you guys might want to
money.
defer to him. He makes real money.
Duke thinks
Doesn't
that
make
they're
monopoly money.
So let me get this straight, because I'm going to call you out on this right now. So
ready.
you believe that Justin Fields has not been on the market?
I think that they are fielding calls, but I think that, yes, the reason when I hear Albert Breer saying that they wanted to have their private meeting with Caleb
Albert Breer said on
Williams,
ESPN 1000 when I was driving down here that they were actively trying to shop him in Indy.
I'm sure they field calls.
So I'm just saying, if you're going to quote Albert Breer on something he's saying, that's what he reported this morning.
He also reported that they tried. Why did they try to move up the meeting? Why have the meeting? They're going to draft Caleb Williams. Don't worry about the meeting. Just trade Justin for whatever you can get for him and be done with it. Don't worry about it because you're drafting Caleb Williams no matter what. Why worry about moving the meeting up immediately after the combine? Why even try to do that? I'm asking a question. Why?
I'll answer the question, but go ahead if you'd like to answer it.
I don't. I'm confused.
Why the Bears tried to move up the meeting?
They didn't move up the meeting. That's when they tried to schedule it.
Right.
Okay.
But why did they have it? Because that was so quick after the combine. Typically, top 30 visits aren't immediately after the combine. Why would they do that with Caleb Williams?
Because they want to get their answers as quick as possible.
Why? They're going to draft him. Who cares? They don't need any more answers.
How many
They need his medicals, and they want to talk to him more face-to-face, right? So they're still trying to finish their evaluation of Caleb Williams before they're going to move forward completely with the plan. They're going to do their due diligence, and they're not going to skip steps. That's exactly what Matt Eberflus said in the 1920 football drive. And you might think, it's due diligence for due diligence sake, but they're going to be methodical in the approach so they don't miss anything.
Okay, so let's go down that road. So then you're suggesting that Ryan Poles is basically going to sit out this entire quarterback market that we just put on the screen earlier in the show. He's basically going to pass on all those offers to potential offers from those teams that need quarterbacks just to get the due diligence done on Caleb Williams. You're telling me he's going to forfeit all those potential offers and to trade him 3 weeks from now until he has those medicals.
Well, what happens if they
Because let me tell you, if that's true, he should be fired right now.
Well, but what happens...
That's not how this works.
Okay, but then what happens if they trade Justin Fields at the combine before they talk to him, and then Caleb Williams steps to the podium and says, I don't want to play for Chicago. Then what happens? Now you're stuck. You don't have a quarterback. You now have to find a veteran quarterback or move off and draft Drake May or Jaden Daniels. What if they go to his medical and they find out he has a heart murmur like Eddie Curry did for the Chicago Bulls? What if they go to his meeting and they realize this guy can't, when they do the film study, he's not, evaluating in the proper way? What if they find things out in their face-to-face evaluation that isn't what they're expecting?
Which is why they have their second option, as I've been trying to tell you for weeks now, is not Justin Fields. It's a different quarterback. We did that show last week.
Right.
You don't believe it?
They still would have to do a top 30 visit with those people as well, whether it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy.
Which is why
they've met with these guys for 15 minutes.
Well, then why did they trade the number 1 pick last year before doing all that?
Because they knew they were keeping Justin Fields.
Well, then why didn't they do that this year?
Because now they're clearly not. I think they're drafting Caleb Williams.
I know,
but that doesn't mean that you don't
the conspiracy theorists.
No, that doesn't mean that you don't go through the process and make sure that everything. They're in a position of power.
I told you,
and especially if the market isn't giving, especially if teams aren't offering you anything, then you're not in any rush. Of course, if somebody offered you the number 8 pick, if the Falcons had offered the number 8 pick, they would say, okay, we're just going to trade that pick and then figure it out from there. But if nobody's going to offer you anything,
so there is no market.
Well, I mean, I think that's what everyone's reporting at this point.
Well, then which is it? That's what I'm trying to say. Have they been trying to trade him or not?
It's both, though. You can't, it's fair to suggest that they're still doing their due diligence, but also because there is no market, there is no hurry to trade him.
Okay, but that's different.
It's both.
Okay, but that's different than what you were saying. You were saying that they were not looking to trade him until after they get the medicals done with Caleb.
There's a saying that says 2 things can be true at the same time. It doesn't have to just be one or the other.
I don't know if that's a saying, but there's a philosophy. They both could be true. But it's a little confusing where I'm at here. Just listening to you. You're saying if there was a market, they would have traded him. But if there was a good market, they would have traded him. But since there wasn't a good market, they didn't trade him.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, if you're gonna take an offer that's really good, I mean, you're not going to pass that up. But if there isn't, a good enough offer, then you can be patient.
Of course,
you're in a position of power. I mean, if you have the number 8 pick, now you have 1, 8, and 9. That gives you a lot of different options at quarterback. J.J. McCarthy could fall to 8 or 9.
But do you understand what which is my point, is that this is like a PR spin. The fact there hasn't been a market for Justin, now there's like this, oh, well, they're not really trying to trade him anyway.
I mean, who do you think he's spinning it to when Rappaport reports that yesterday? Do you think that that's polls pushing that to him to put that out there?
I don't know. I don't play that game. I don't speculate
Well,
where
you
other
just
reporters
said it. It was spin.
It is spin. But it doesn't matter who it came from in the organization. I'm saying you're trying to spin it. That's what I'm trying to say. You're getting sucked into the spin.
No, I mean,
You're a spin sucking.
No, I
You
just
are a spin sucking.
I genuinely think they want to make sure they get their evaluation all the way through before they are 100% all in on the plan.
But here, I don't want to double team you here and try to back you into a corner. But do you think that Justin's coming back to the Bears?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you think that if Caleb, if things went super south with Caleb for whatever reason, he pulls? I meant to ask that with Bo Wolf. Who was the guy last year that I for some reason have forgotten 100 times and haven't re-looked back up? Who we're going to draft number 1 overall?
Bryce Young?
No. The defensive lineman,
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter. If he pulls a Jalen Carter, does something horrible, the Bears question his character. You don't think they're going to move off him to Jaden Daniels or Drake May or whoever?
What I would do versus what the Bears would do are two different things. To me, it's either Caleb Williams or Justin Fields and trade back.
I'm just okay.
Then I am changing my route.
Right. Okay.
Because
Look,
I don't, I'm not comfortable pushing my chips all in on Jaden Daniels or Drake May, personally. Now, what the Bears would do, I don't know. I honestly, maybe
your guy over
maybe
here is
they
telling you
trade
that
back and draft J.J. McCarthy at 9.
they might.
Which I've talked about many times.
They might.
Which I also would not sign off on at all. I have no trust that J.J. McCarthy is going to be this great quarterback in the league.
Well, and this is where things are getting spun in wrong ways, because I'm with you on that. And people are getting confused between what is being reported and what I actually would do. Because I would tend to agree with you there, that I think in that situation, although trading the number 1 pick and drafting a different rookie quarterback has its benefits too.
All right, this was a worthwhile discussion.
I don't know that we landed anywhere though.
We didn't. We landed nowhere.
Because
I was listening to the entire thing. I don't know if I don't think anyone did.
Well, do you think if the Bears been offered a first-round pick, that Justin Fields would be on the roster right now?
He'd be gone.
That's an extreme example.
No. I'm doing a process here.
Let's go through the whole thing. Let it play out.
Rags,
Yep.
you think he would be traded by now
First round
Yes.
pick.
for a first-round pick?
Oh,
What about a
100%.
second-round pick?
Yes.
That's getting a little closer. To where I would say, why not just wait?
So
First round pick is an extreme example.
Okay, fine. So you're saying, hypothetically, a team offered a second-round pick, and you're saying, I'm going to turn that down right now because I got to get the medicals on Caleb Williams.
Right.
Which, by the way, there's been no indication or rumor at any point that there's anything wrong with his medicals.
Still, though.
I don't think that's not how teams operate.
No, it's
you
not.
You can't wait. You can't wait in this game because someone's gonna jump you.
So then my follow-up then is, you say wait. If a month from now they trade him for a 5th-round pick and you found out that a month earlier they could have gotten a 2nd-round pick, will you be pissed?
Like I said, because the Bears, all that matters is getting the quarterback position right. That's all that matters. You're going to worry about your 2nd-round pick or your 3rd-round pick, go for it. But the Bears are in a position of power because they have Justin Fields on their roster right now, and they can do their due diligence all the way to the end, to the finish line, and know that they're confident that Caleb Williams is their guy. Because they have to get the quarterback position right.
More QB movement here. The Giants are signing Drew Lock. We were talking about him in our pre-show meeting about maybe being a backup, but
Whoopsie.
no more Drew Lock.
I don't know who's been talking about the Giants as the number 1 landing spot for Justin, but
they were in the quarterback market though. They
Yeah.
did get Drew Lock as backup. So.
Well, and there's another example. If the Giants, as Rich Eisen had reported, if the Giants are completely done with Daniel Jones, the idea that they would rather have, what was the
The
deal?
numbers are not there, but Giants are signing Drew Lock.
They would rather pay Drew Lock than trade for Justin Fields and have him for $3 million this year makes no sense to me whatsoever. It makes no sense.
Well, let's get into our potential Justin Fields landing spots then, because that was one of the ones that we. Do you still want to stick with the Giants, or does that not count now?
I mean, to me, I still think the Raiders and the Giants, there's no reason why they couldn't. Like, if you're saying Justin Fields for a 4th-round pick or a 5th-round pick,
You ain't going to there.
and put him in the quarterback room, like, who cares? Like, why not? That's not like there's no risk in the draft equity there, and the potential that Justin Fields becomes, your franchise guy. It's worth a swing of the bat. So, to me, I don't think the Raiders or Giants should be off the table. Now, are they? I mean, I guess.
I mean, look, yes, of course, at a 5th-round pick, he could literally be in play for every team in the NFL. That's a fair take. But
Well, that's where we're at right now with Justin. I mean, Adam said yesterday he might get cut.
the thought was that
I didn't necessarily say that.
if you wanted to do
I asked the question: would you at some point do the Bears just cut him? I didn't try to insinuate that they were going to do that. I just want to be clear on that.
You want me to go first here? Because I'll tell you exactly where he's going.
Let's hear him.
Even though I already told you that he was going to Atlanta, because that's what the betting market was doing, and so that one was wrong. I thought that Kirk would ultimately go back to Minnesota. He left. Good on you, Kirk. I think at this point the most logical spot for him is one way or another with the New England Patriots. He could be there to compete with Jacoby, with them taking the number 3 overall pick, making Marvin number 3, because they don't feel like they're ready to bring in a rookie quarterback with their roster that is far from in a good position to have someone succeed. And or the other side of it is he could be there to let a quarterback like Jaden Daniels and or Drake May to have their actual time to sit for a year and learn. So to me, the sexiest option right now is for Justin, and perhaps for the Bears on the value they could get, is the New England Patriots. So obviously that was not my first call, but that is what I think is the most likely spot right now.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think there's a lot of.
They just signed Jacoby Brissett. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to apply to every one of these. Like, there's no obvious spot. So we're making the case, and I agree that, you could potentially throw Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields in a similar type of offense and let them battle it out. Now, the case I'm going to make here, and these are all kind of going to be stretches, but I think that the way this is going, that might have to be how it is. I'm going to look at the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, they have Derek Carr. They still have him on a big contract.
My guy.
And then we can finally have this Derek Carr, Justin Fields debate play out in person. There. No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be to have a quarterback battle. It'd be sort of insurance. 1 year, $2.7 million to an organization where Andrew Janocko just went. Is their quarterback's coach now, right? And then meanwhile, just for fun, this is an offense that already has Taysom Hill, a role for Taysom Hill to get on the field in some situations, and maybe you do some of that experimenting with Justin Fields while Derek Carr is your starter. And worse comes to worse, you're having second thoughts about Derek Carr, or he gets hurt, you have a pretty decent insurance plan with Justin Fields. So that's where I'm going with the New Orleans Saints.
And Carm's going to P once again. New York Giants, 1 year, $5 million.
For Drew Lock? Okay.
For Drew Lock.
Say that again?
The Adam Schefter's reporting Giants giving Drew Lock a 1 year, $5 million contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why not Justin?
Because I guess because you have to give up the draft pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it's come down to right now. Like, you have to give up something, even if it is just little less than $3 million. But
right. So if let's say it was 5th round pick, and then I'm sorry, let's say it's 5th round pick the Giants are offering, and Poles is going, well, I'll just wait because I'm not going to just give you Justin. I'm going to see if I can get a higher pick for it.
That part I agree with. What I'm quibbling
what
with,
happens then if we can't even get a 5th round and then he gets cut? Just theoretically.
No, but where I'm meeting you halfway on is there potentially with this idea of we have to see what the medicals are in Caleb Williams. there's a line where you can say, well, that's not a good enough trade. I might as well hold on him for him a little bit longer because what do I have to lose? What I'm objecting to is this idea that they've been passing on good deals. This thought that they would actually have turned down a good trade for Justin Fields at this point,
For the medicals.
just because they got to see Caleb Williams' medicals, there's just no way that's accurate. There's just no way.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mark. Or looking at Mark's bathroom break here, I want to see if I can get my trade scenario for the Bears with Justin Fields. I kind of brought it up earlier about maybe if you're looking at him just specifically as a backup, I think Philadelphia would make sense with how they run their offense. And Jalen Hurts, yes, he threw for more passing yards or had a career year in terms of the passing yard marks, but he didn't play to the caliber that I think the Eagles wanted him to play. He also had threw 15 interceptions, which is actually the total amount he threw for 2022 and 2021 combined. New offensive coordinator there with Kellen Moore, so they'd both be learning a new offense together. And, I think Justin Fields, if he was in that backup role, if Jalen Hurts ever got hurt, you can plug and play and see what he can do there. So you're looking for a potential trade destination that wouldn't be essentially the starting spot. I think Justin Fields in Philadelphia would make some sense there.
Official 165 on the
Did you see that, Mark?
bathroom break for.
Oh, there was a timer?
There's a timer.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a...
What did we hit?
I don't think that was actually a bathroom break.
no, that was a bronchital situation. I don't know.
That wouldn't have fit on the lower third.
I don't know what's...
I got bronchitis.
I got something that's going on that I hope is not contagious, but I think I got it here, so it's going to be all right.
Was the plague contagious?
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
You are contagious.
You are a plague amongst this city.
You really... there are moments in time where you make my life better, and then there's the rest of the time.
So let's talk. So in terms of Justin Fields' landing spots, the Broncos, like what are the teams you would list?
While I was having my coughing attack, the only logical point to your argument that you were just making is that they're actually keeping him. If you think what you were doing with Hoge is that they're keeping him.
Right.
And I mean that seems crazy, and I don't think you believe that, but that's
No, I don't.
to your argument. That's what it would have to be. They are keeping.
So
him.
here's the other point, and I sometimes I talk to this about with my friends in spaces talking about football, where we'll talk about something and they'll say, well, this makes no sense. Why would this team do that? Newsflash: teams do dumb shit all the time. Maybe you haven't been covering the Bears the last 20 years, but they don't always make the smartest moves. They once signed Mike Glennon to a $50 million deal. So sometimes teams do dumb shit is the answer. And unfortunately, sometimes the Chicago Bears do dumb shit. So we're hoping this time around the Bears do smart shit and not dumb shit.
Well, Free Thug is with you. He thinks they're keeping him.
I do not think they're keeping him.
I know you don't.
Free Thug. They are keeping him, dummy.
Which is why I was pushing back on you. Why would they not trade him at the height of his value?
We don't know where his value was.
So you think the value is going to go up now?
Mel Kiper said first round pick. Then we've
No. Stop talking. So you think his value is going to go up now from this point?
I mean, if it's as low as it's feeling like it is, now that he seems to be the only, I don't get it.
I mean,
with Sam Darnold and Gardner Minshew and Drew Lock for a 1 year, $5 million deal.
I explained it to you.
I don't like it. It still makes no sense. I mean, there's so many times that even in the second round, third round, fourth round, picks of guys that never last in the league. The quarterback is the most important position in sports, and you have an opportunity to get this guy on one throwaway pick, but you're not going to do it, and you're going to piss away a year with Sam Darnold or Drew Lock. It makes no sense to me. But teams do dumb shit.
All right, before we get to Super Chats, a lot more going on here at CHGO Sports today. We got the CHGO Sky Show on at 2:30. The Sky hold the number 3 pick in the draft in April. 3:30, CHGO Cubs. Justin Steele already got the nod as the opening day starter. He gets to start in spring training tonight. The White Sox, no one really knows what's going on with them, so we're going to have to tune in at 5 o'clock to figure out what the heck really anything that's happening with the CHGO White Sox, they'll have it all covered for you. Closing out CHGO Blackhawks as well. They got you covered for a post-game following their game with the Ducks tonight at the United Center. All right, let's get to some supers. My strategy of getting Duke to
The Duke had a run, man.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah, he had several.
Duke's mad at me. This is good. This is good business plan, I think. I just get the Duke mad at me, and he just keeps throwing supers in there.
I get nervous when the Duke's mad at you.
We know.
Has a lot of power.
Duke, you know I'm not being serious about that, by the way. Super chat, $10 from
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Good afternoon, guys. Hope they wrap up Hunter and Ridley, get a guy to be in opponents' backfields and one guy in opponents' end zones. Bear down. Unfortunately, it sounds like Calvin Ridley's down to the Jaguars and Patriots.
Don't know about Danielle Hunter, though. We'll see what happens there.
Super Cougar, 199. They knew it wasn't his fault. It was the QB, that being in reference to the Falcons signing Darnell Mooney
I
for
was
big
really
money.
thinking that was going to be like a cougar.
Like a
Good
the
looking.
animal?
A good
like a
looking.
cougar.
Never mind. Go ahead.
There was a good-looking cougar in the chat. We'd have a real problem considering your attire. Continue on.
We're talking about sex earlier, too.
VDEMS, $5. Finally catching you live. Love the show, guys. Anyone else fatigued with the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams debate? I just want it to
am
be
I
over. Bear down.
ever be Dems?
Yes, I tweeted about
Am
that
I
a couple days
ever?
ago.
Yes, we are fatigued with it. There's absolutely no question.
I just
John Davis, $5. Guys, I just joined. The first words were I
Back sex. I back sex. I back it.
Like you
It's a
back
supporter.
it.
He
You
backs
back
it.
I support it.
I
Yeah.
support sex.
It's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Thank you, John. Sorry that you
feels like Friday.
Well,
jumped you
we
right-
missed Throat Goat Monday.
No.
Don't. We had a meeting about that.
We did.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
I know
Yes,
you two
yes.
only paid a 25% attention to our meetings, but yes, we.
It was like
I
the
only
first thing I
listen-
brought up in the meeting today.
I only listen when I'm talking.
yes. We,
Throat Goat.
we-
Throat
you
Goat
listen when
Monday.
you're talking.
I back sex Tuesday.
What's Wednesday?
Stay tuned for Wednesday.
Carm says you don't even
I,
listen when you
I don't
talk.
think you listen when you're talking.
I don't.
I think you
listen
just
when I'm-
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, we got a lot of these guys. Let's keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Bearded Club Golfer, £4.99 sterling. I just don't know where this leaves us with the quarterback situation. Even if we keep Fields, do we keep the first pick and draft Caleb? Hashtag diehard, hashtag bear down, hashtag see you in London.
A bearded club. I'm with you. If the market is what it looks like, I mean, if we're in like Mac Jones land, I'll keep him. I'll give me all the drama. Let's have it all here, and let's have this conversation every damn day, despite the exhaustion. That would be amazing.
No.
It might be the best thing for us, honestly.
That's one
Once
way to
he's
think
traded
about
for a 6th-round pick, what's gonna? I mean,
That 6th-rounder? Oh, no. Puka Nacua is a 5th-rounder. Damn it. We have a super chat from Quinn Anderson, $10. Appreciate you, Quinn. Which scenario is worse? 31 GMs in the league view Fields as a pure backup with no trade value, or Poles truly has not decided what to do, as a result has tanked Fields' trade value this year?
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, if it's a pure backup, you could still hopefully get something for him. So I guess I go scenario one.
we are getting more than the Patriots got for Mac Jones. We are getting more. Poles will do it.
That would be wild if he goes for less than Mac Jones.
He ain't going for less than Mac Jones. That's where I draw the line in this conversation. We are getting more than Mac Jones.
Fields outplayed Mac Jones in 2022.
Not his rookie year.
Take that.
Bear down Omaha, $2. I've never understood what Adolfo Mensa is doing, the Vikings general manager.
We're with you, man.
No full Mensa.
They made some
Although-
nice additions on defense yesterday, I will say. Big downgrade. Oh, we haven't even mentioned they signed Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones still in the division.
got
Everything they did
Bernard,
made
too.
everything they did made sense. Was minus
Made
Did I hear
sex.
made sense.
This is why we do shows with things not in our mouth.
If I didn't just have the bronchial death moment of time, I would not have put
Will
something
you
in my
just get
mouth.
healthy?
I'm trying to get healthy.
Throat Goat.
antibiotics. Go to a doctor. Why have you not gone to a doctor?
Okay, I'm not going to fight back on that. Maybe I should go to a doctor. That's fine. Excellent point. I should go to a doctor.
All right,
no problem.
$9.99 from Oscar Styles. This free agency had me going brag style last night. I spent $50 at Taco Bell. The Bears don't care about us devoted fans.
Taco Bell is the move.
I'm off Taco Bell.
No, it's
man.
not the move.
It is the move.
They got rid of my stuff there.
The Blackhawks, CHGO Blackhawks guys told me that of all the fast foods you can eat, Taco Bell is the most healthy option. And when I go for my, health advice, I take it from the Blackhawks guys. They're my guys.
You're telling me that
we're not having a Taco Bell debate right now. Kevin,
we could.
$10 super chat. Why do we go against what the NFL is telling us? They're saying he is a backup. Is it possible everyone in Chicago is viewing him with rose-colored glasses?
I don't know, Kevin. You might be onto something there.
Is that? Well, I guess I do. I think he's a starter.
Well, I mean,
I think Justin Fields is a starter and should be a starter in the league in 2024.
I agree with that. And remember, like Adam Schefter's report this morning, he brought up the similarities, or at least he felt like there's some similarities to what happened with Lamar Jackson last year, how teams weren't making an offer to trade for him and why that was. Obviously, Justin Fields isn't on Lamar Jackson's level, but I think it also has to do with the fact that, like, he's a unique quarterback. He's not your traditional quarterback, and the way he plays the game, neither is Lamar Jackson. So
Lamar
if a
Jackson
team's
was going to cost 2 1s, and what was the contract he signed?
Won the
$4 billion.
He won the MVP.
I know. I'm just saying that's not. It's a weird.
I guess.
Right, but regardless, whoever brings him in, you're completely curtailing your offense to what he does. You're not bringing him into the system you run. You are changing your system entirely for him, which is an adjustment that a lot of coaches don't know how to do, as we've learned here in Chicago. They know how to run their system and have no idea how to get the most and
where's Greg Roman at? Chargers?
Right, and get the strengths out of your players in that regard. So
Lee says $9.99. Guys, the reason Fields' market is so bad is that there are potential 6 first round and in the draft. Basically saying there's a lot of first-round quarterbacks. It's certainly not helping.
A lot of factors out there, Lee. Thank you.
Which is why the Bears are probably moving on, because they have access to the best one of those quarterbacks. Don't worry, 213, $9.99. Should Mr. Warren put a dispensary in the new stadium?
Why not? Let's make some money. Let's have some fun. I think that's a win-win. I like the way you're thinking.
Well, I told you about the pull tabs. I never explained what a pull tab is.
Yeah, please do, because
it's kind of like a lottery ticket where you they have them at bars in Minnesota and other places too, but that's how they paid for them. You literally can buy pull tabs at a bar, and then it's like you open the pull tab,
right, and there's like cherries,
and then you basically
get 4 in a row.
You might win $20 on your $1.
You've never seen a pull tab?
No, I have not. And if you're telling me that we're going to pay off this stadium by having people gamble on something,
let's do it.
If that's how that's going to get done, great. However we get it done.
This isn't even high stakes. It's like literally an activity to do at a bar.
Right.
Where it might pay for your bill, for your round of drinks.
Great.
And that paid for a stadium.
Great, let's do it.
Chicago, we can't figure out how to. We owe more on a stadium from 20 years ago than at the time that it was built.
Which is disgusting and embarrassing and a deeper discussion that actually matters, and it's super upsetting, and I hate it.
K. Clued at $5. The Justin Fields stuff is old, guys. He's the 15th best quarterback. That is unlikely to win the Super Bowl. Keep drafting until you get the guy. And unfortunately, doesn't even look like the 15th. Because he's still looking for a job. Yeah. The rest of the league is apparently feeling the same way. Just sign other veterans for apparently more money and then draft a quarterback.
The next guy that's going to get signed is Mike Glennon before Fields gets a contract. It's getting embarrassing.
I will die.
I mean, we should already be. Yeah. Sam Darnold? Wow.
$4.99, Ryan R. I just don't see why it's so hard to envision trading back for a haul and taking another one of the quarterback prospects as insurance and filling roster holes.
We have teed up the win-win, Ryan. It could either way they go, it could be a win-win for the Bears.
It's not hard to envision, but I just think the 4 of us happen to think that that's not going to happen. We're not, as I was allowing Robert Friel's opinion yesterday, we clipped it and had some fun with it, but like, it's not hard to envision. Nobody's saying like this is like a preposterous proposal, but just looking at the landscape, looking at the way the Bears have operated here this offseason, it doesn't feel like they're going to do that. And we're going to be honest with you guys in our coverage as far as what we think they're going to do. If it ends up being wrong, have at it.
Anthony 499, Adam, how crazy would Grobber be going about some of these signings? Pluto is a planet.
Why does Hoge get the Grobber credit? I moved the guy.
You moved him?
Yes. I've told that story many times.
You helped him move.
Les Grobstein asked me when I was producing his overnight show, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I don't have any huge plans. Great. Then you could help me move. And I said, I don't help my friends move. But, okay, I'm trying to get in the business. I'll help Les Grobstein move. RIP. 3-day move. 3 days. Media guides and all. You should have been there. I got a Northwestern Ohio State program from 79. I don't know where it is right now.
That's how he paid for it? He gave you a Northwestern program.
He paid me and my guy Dave Rogers. He paid it. I had to bring in another friend because he had so much stuff. We went to Lou Malnati's. It was great. We got the reduced fat cheese. It was
you
delicious.
let Robert con you into helping him move for 3 straight
3 days. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow. That would have been a
R.I.P.
Sorry, Les. My wife's calling me.
I'll keep going.
No, I was telling you what you should have done in the moment.
I thought you were for real.
Okay, but
I didn't pick up a phone.
I thought Krista was calling.
You never know.
If she was, I wouldn't pick it up in the middle of the show.
I'd pick it up.
An emergency. And 2, I cannot believe you let Les Grobstein.
I showed my hunger to get in the business and to one day be sitting here next to you, Adam Hoge.
Miscalculation.
Yeah, it's true. I should have given up right then. That's what I got to do. Let's pick another
That's not
career.
what I meant, but I don't think Robert was taking you to the promised land.
Oh, that was. Well,
Eventually, you hooked up with Cap.
Cap was an upgrade over Les, with all due respect to Les.
Alex 999. What about the 49ers for Fields? He could be what Shanahan wanted Trey Lance to be. Plus, they have a history of spending resources in areas that are already strengths for them. I'm not gonna lie, Alex. As I was laying in bed last night, maybe that was this morning. I can't remember. No, it was whenever I saw that that Darnold was signing in Minnesota. I was like,
Brandon Allen is their backup in
San Francisco.
Not a lot of guys back there after Purdy.
And Shanahan's the type of guy that would come up with, even as a backup, a package of plays for him and utilize him.
Smart guy.
I don't know enough of what that 49ers market is like right now, but I would wonder, like, if they were to trade for Fields, because as good as Purdy has been, would there be some pressure to be like, oh, let's give Fields a chance? Again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't do the 49ers
Definitely
podcast.
Enticing.
It'd be very interesting. Logi 65, $2. Caleb Williams lovers are in shambles today. Love it.
Logi. Don't be so Logi. Open your heart up, Logi, to
Caleb
all
Williams lovers. He knows of some girls that he broke up with that they're in shambles right now. It's not nice to laugh at.
Yeah, Logi. Come on, Logi. You're better than that, Logi.
Breakups aren't easy.
Before we get to the Duke here, there is one thing I do have to say, though. But the rest of the league not having interest in your quarterback is not a reason to not draft his replacement.
It's because they're not trading him.
Does that make sense?
That's because they're not trading him, you dumbass.
Well, yeah, you apparently got sucked into that.
I don't believe that.
Then why did you argue with me for 15 minutes?
Because I just think, again, it's due diligence. And
due diligence to let
due
the market
diligence. And instead of worrying about the pick, you have to make sure you get the quarterback position right. And that means literally leaving no stone unturned, because this cursed organization is finally going to get the quarterback right through hell or high water.
The Duke, $50. What did Rappaport say, Hoge? Remind me. Maybe Poles doesn't see the college tape. and a 10-minute interview isn't enough for him to be firm on a decision. Bragg's owning you guys. Exactly right, Bragg's.
Duke, you know who you're teaming up with here. This is a dangerous move by you. I respect it, though.
We got
one of
so
us.
many.
We got a bunch of Dukes.
Yeah, why don't we just do all the Duke super chats consecutively?
Holy shit.
Let's
There's
keep
a
Duke.
lot of them. And it's all in the same
Duke
thought,
mania.
but we could just keep going here. Duke, $20. LOL, Hoge, you're selling your house before you find a new place to live. You like to live dangerously, I guess.
I mean, technically, my wife and I did do that. We sold our house, and then I lived at my mom's for 9 months while we found another house, and it took us forever. And it was very stressful, although we did save a lot of money.
It's
Yeah,
not
don't
really
go down
what
the
the-
real estate. Actually, yes, a lot of people do that. You sell if your house is up here in the market, if it's a buyer's market, or I'm sorry, a seller's market, but not a buyer's market, plenty of people would sell high, rent for a year until the market comes back to a buyer's market, and then you buy then.
Okay, but that's not what the Duke's talking about. He's certainly not talking about Bragg's situation with living with his mother. The Duke doesn't live with his
I'm
mother.
responding to the Duke.
It was tight, too. My mom makes lettered pancakes.
My
They're
point,
delicious.
Carm,
good.
was that people do that all the time. They sell their house before they have another option to go.
Good point.
Because they can get the most for their house in that market.
Good point,
in that
Hoge.
moment.
Good point, Hoge. Tied it right into the football. That's right, Duke. Take that, Duke. I'm sorry, Duke.
Just listen here. Don't.
Okay.
All right, continuing with the Duke super chats, $20 more. It's fair to suggest they're fielding preliminary offers while also not actively looking to sell him. But they won't sell until they know they have a guy they'd move to. This isn't hard, Hoge. Even Braggs gets it.
Oh, now he's really dunking on you.
Going after you, Hoge.
No,
Get him, Duke.
$20 more from the Duke. Or Hoge pushing the narrative that there is no market is the spin.
Okay.
No.
Boy, I didn't know Duke was going to go full conspiracy theorist on us. I was not expecting this like back in December.
Duke's not done.
I know. Let's keep it coming.
Keep going.
20 more from the Duke. If someone's if someone offered me $10 million for my $1 million house, sure, I'd sell and figure it out later. LOL, Hoge, try to have some rationality to your argument. We're all getting dumber listening to you.
Wow.
Whoa.
Duke has turned.
Duke
Turned
from
on
the
me.
top rope.
I think what we're learning about the Duke right now, more than anything else, is that,
He's Jake Flanagan.
Is that he might be Jake Flanagan.
the Duke loves Justin Fields. The Duke is a Fields guy.
Jake's got the
Jake,
incognito glass.
he just put his sunglasses on. His Duke sunglasses is what that is.
The Duke, as we're trying to figure out who the Duke is, and we've had some ideas, he might have, I don't know, connections to Justin. This is big.
All right, one last one here.
Maybe there's a Duke 2.0 here as well. Also dropping $20.
he maxed out his Super Chat credit card.
This is the original Duke, though. Hoge, by your logic, you sell your house for less than you think it's worth because you want to get it done quick, even though you aren't sure you have a better place to live.
No, I'd be selling my house on the high level because I know that's where the market's maxing out.
And I know I'm moving.
Quarterbacks.
Exactly.
He's moving, man.
That's not. It's
He's
it actually isn't that hard.
He's leaving the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duke 2.0. This is fascinating.
Whoa.
Duke 2.0.
Duke 2.0, $20. You think Poles, who has been about as analytical as possible when it comes to these decisions, is committed to drafting a QB afterwards, just reviewing college tape and a 10-minute interview? Who's not using logic exactly, Hoge?
He's committed to drafting a quarterback afterwards, just
Duke.
reviewing college tape. 2.0.
Duke.
2.0.
Duke. We're in an odd land here.
We are, because this isn't about. I don't understand why people aren't understanding this. It's about moving on from the quarterback. You now have 3 years of tape on that you didn't draft. Take Caleb out of it.
Right.
That's what it's about.
They don't like Justin. That is the reporting around it. Let's talk about things that have happened. Justin Fields unfollowed the Bears on social media. Ryan Poles was asked about doing right by Justin, and he says, yes, you don't want to have him live in limbo. When we get there, I'd like to move that along as quickly as possible. So he openly talked about the potential of trading him. Mm-hmm. The Bears had a meeting with Caleb that by all reports went well. They're going to have more meetings with Caleb. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones went for a 6th-round pick. He was picked the same year as Justin, showing no market for a guy who, at least by the numbers, outplayed Justin his rookie year. Yes, he has gone south the last couple of years, but we all know that Justin has not blown it out of the waters numbers-wise. Yes, he's been phenomenal on the ground. These are the things that have happened.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're going to talk about reporting, though,
Yeah.
be fair across the board.
Go ahead.
Adam Schefter did say that a monkey wrench in this whole thing is that there's people still within the organization that want to keep Justin. Adam thinks that he's alluding to guys like DJ Moore. I think it's more front office, Kevin Warren types, because I take what Kevin Warren said at face value, and I do believe what he said. So if you're going to talk about reporting, which I'm with you, I think they're drafting Caleb Williams. I think they're moving on from Justin Fields. But don't talk about reporting and then ignore the reporting that doesn't fit your narrative. You know, I mean, that cuts both ways. So Rappaport put out a report yesterday, because that's what everybody's doing right now. When Rappaport or whoever, Albert Breer last week says, you know, they're in the process of drafting Caleb Williams, everybody goes, oh, well, the insiders don't know what they're talking about. Then Rappaport comes out yesterday and says, now they haven't been shopping Justin Fields, and now people are parading that report out like, see, they're not going to trade Justin. So everybody on both sides of this debate need to acknowledge all the reports or none of them at all, not just the ones that fit your narratives.
I'm not.
For the record, the only thing I go off of, and I'm being 100% serious about this, is information I get, conversations I have.
Well, that's not what we do on the show. We react to a lot of different reports. But I'm not saying you don't.
No. We do that as a show, absolutely,
Right.
when we have discussions. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when I tell you, when it comes out of my mouth, and again, I feel like we need to review this, because I have been consistent on this from the very beginning. I like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I personally believe the upside with drafting Caleb Williams number 1 is the better option. That's my personal opinion. Both of those can be true, as you said earlier.
Right.
And then 3, I think the Bears are going down the Caleb Williams route. When I tell you that third part, that's coming from conversations I've had. And it always will be. So and you can, in the chat, can blow that up. You're making that up, blah, blah. I don't care. But that's just, and that's not new. That's what I've done since I've covered this team in 2011. It's always been the way I've done it, whether it's on Hoge and Johns or this show or anything I've written. That's how it is.
Well, and
I'll take another month and a half beating if I have to until this all comes down to it. And maybe I am wrong. Maybe when it's all said and done, there's a major pivot, just like Carm getting his city stadium that he wants. Maybe. I'm not ruling that out. All I do on this show on a daily basis is try to give you the most informed information that I can possibly get and relay to the fans.
Same.
Always.
Right. And you've been doing this a long time. And so you've gotten your information and worked those connections for a long time. And that's why so many people that watch this show, including me, that has watched your coverage for years, we trust when you report things because of your consistency in the way that you report it. So from my standpoint, as I bleed over from being the fan on Twitter that didn't have any connections to coming over to media and now talking to people in the last year, especially the last month, and having similar kind of conversations, I'm doing the same, of course. And then you can just use logic. I mean, I said back in October when you said, I don't want to talk about the number 1 pick, and you yelled at me like, we're not talking about this on the show.
Yeah, I did.
And I said, like, why not? Like, because if they have the number 1 pick, they're drafting Caleb Williams. I've been saying that since October just by using logic, and I am combining it with things that I've heard as well, but not going to act like I'm any kind of insider reporter, and I'm not at that level yet.
It's informed opinion, and that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to say we ignore other people's reports. That's not all. But I don't base the things I say off of. It's why I push back a little bit on what Ian Rappaport reported yesterday, because I think it's just kind of a.
Which is where this. I was trying to outline what has happened. You tried to throw all that out by saying, well, you're not talking about this report from Ian Rappaport. You could have just said, well, there also was this report. But the reality is everything that has happened that I laid out, from Justin unfollowing to the way Ryan Poles talked about it to what's been reported on this show.
I'm not ignoring anything.
So
like when Kevin Warren had that interview, I was like, okay. And some people were like, yeah, he doesn't get to have a say. Ryan Poles makes final football operations decisions. Okay, Kevin Warren is the president. So when I hear him do an interview and speak that strongly, I take what he says at face value. I believe.
Right, but you're talking about when he said how much he likes Justin. What did you expect him to say?
Well, but he also said if we can double down on what we did last year, trading the number one pick. He alluded to doing the same strategy again this year. And I do believe through that interview that if it were up to Kevin Warren, they'd trade the number one pick back. I do believe that if it was his decision, which is not solely his decision.
Now, this is where I will 100% say I don't know this for sure because I haven't talked to Kevin Warren about what he would do. And even if I had that opportunity, he probably wouldn't tell me. But that being said, I completely disagree with you. I think...
Which surprises me.
If I am... And again, this is speculation based on my part of what I know about Kevin Warren, the business opportunities that he seeks, the benefits of certain things. I think he would look at Caleb Williams as like, this guy can be the face of a franchise in a new era of Chicago Bears football.
Which makes a lot of sense.
And again, that's just me speculating. I don't know that for sure.
It makes a ton of sense.
But between the two options, I think he can both really appreciate Justin Fields as a person and someone he's gotten to know in the past year and understand that the benefit of bringing in Caleb Williams, resetting this rookie contract, and where that could potentially go is the benefit of that would be way up here compared to continuing to go down this road with Justin Fields.
And by the way, Ryan Poles likes Justin. Luke Getsy likes Justin. Matt Eberflus likes Justin. A lot of guys that like him.
We like Justin. Everybody likes
Justin.
Yeah,
there's no reason not to like Justin, but believe that he's your quarterback is a different
story.
When you have the number one pick and all the things. So okay.
All right, the Duke 2.0 again, not $20. I think we will draft Caleb, but until Poles is sure about it, not just because the talking heads say it's the right move, he's not moving no Justin.
Okay. So the Duke is...
Well, I guess then we just agree to disagree on that. Like, I would personally trade Justin when I think I can get the most value. I find it hard to believe that Ryan Poles has been turning down trades here in the last few days.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what's been going on, unless they're completely lowball trade offers.
Can we go back to that Duke 2.0 on the cram? Because, you know, I'd like to get to talk to the Duke too for just 1 second. Ryan Poles also openly said that if that's the route we go, forget that partner cram. Duke, last year at this time he said they'd have to be blown away. This year is a totally different tune. Completely different. So I didn't forget it, but it's a different tone.
He also said, too, back at the NFL Combine when we were all there, when he would have to have this theoretical conversation with the players in the locker room that they would potentially be trading Justin, the words he used was not if. He said, when we do that, I think they'll know that it's in the best interest of the team. So,
I mean, right.
Which you heard Jalen Johnson say that in his interview yesterday. Cole Kmet said that multiple times with us and other outlets that he's not allowed to go on.
They all know it's coming. How dare Cole Kmet. We miss you, Cole Kmet. We love you, Cole Kmet.
What do we got next here, Steven?
Let's mix it up and go a little bit earlier in the show. We had a $5 super chat from Old Man Gaming TV 1975. We also had a $1 super chat from Jacob Goach.
The Goacher.
The Goacher.
The GOAT.
We love you, Goach.
Matt Hepler here with a $5 super chat. Seahawks make the most sense. They wanted Anthony Richardson bad. Justin Fields could beat out Geno at 33, and you have a defensive head coach.
It's an interesting fit.
yeah.
Interesting fit.
Good play behind Geno. Overtake Geno.
It is a new coaching staff there. That's the types of things
True.
you
Jackson
look
Smith
at.
and
Although
Jigba?
the GM hasn't changed, though. But, yeah, coaching staff matters.
And we got 33 more of these. Yeah, the super
What
chat's
is
been
happening on this
the
show
super
today?
chat's been rolling while you guys were in all these debates.
Yeah.
The super chats were just flying through.
It's good.
Good job, guys.
Way to go. Way to go.
Mike
Way to go.
Capizzi,
Good job, Rex. You were a genius.
$10 here. Why would Rappaport report that they are not shopping him? He is the best source in the sport. What if the Bears do believe it's Justin or Caleb? Then you wait for his medical to trade Justin.
$10 from Mike. Anybody want to respond to that? Because I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why he would report that.
I don't know either. I'm not Ian. I haven't talked to Ian since he did that. But let me just play counter to that. Why would all the other reports, including Ian, before yesterday, suggest otherwise?
Right.
Then Adam Schefter today.
And there's been another report this morning from Jeff Howe from The Athletic that he's
a lot of reports out there, man. A lot of reports.
Listen, the Ian Rappaport, the guy will zig when he zags and he'll zag when he zigs. Don't try to contain him and don't try to book him for the show. Jacob Goach, $9.99. QB market is weak. Fields could come back and be a bridge quarterback for any QB in this class outside of Caleb Williams, who was a day one starter. So why jump the gun? If Caleb Williams don't go to plan, pivot him to plan B. Okay, Jacob, maybe that's what's happening. Old Man Gaming TV, 1975. Love 1975. I was 2. You all are gaslighting Braggs. He's making it sense. Also, the market on QB is hot. Fields isn't on the market. The value of pick 1 is too high. Old Man Gaming.
Gaslighters.
There you go. Hashtag we are gaslighters. $5 from AJ Dahl. Fields can be held until the draft. Package him in a deal to move up for Neighbors or Williams. That's actually an interesting option. Like, you would think that maybe the Bears might throw in a sweetener with Justin to get something that they would want in a situation where a team might be interested in having him on a 1-year flyer, back up something. I wouldn't completely rule that out.
We have breaking news.
Yes, we do.
We can get the little siren.
Somebody deleted it out of here.
What?
Nice. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. The Bears are signing tight end Gerald Everett.
That's why we stayed here for Everett.
Gerald Everett.
Everett.
Super Bowl.
Mount Everett.
All right, let's see.
Now,
what we got here.
for
Where
more
they
on
will
it,
have dual quarterbacks in the backfield. As Jake once proposed to me, they'll have Justin on one side, Caleb on the other. You don't know which way they're snapping it. Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, offset tight ends.
You guys want to know a fun fact about Gerald Everett?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Gerald Everett was selected 1 pick ahead of
Let's see, what draft
Bayless
is this?
Jones?
20, no.
I have no idea.
2017.
drafted in 2017, the Mitch Trubisky draft. Gerald
Adam
Everett.
Shaheen.
Gerald Everett was selected 1 selection ahead of Adam Shaheen, also a tight end.
Baby Gronk.
Debatably.
Remember when Bears fans thought that Adam Shaheen was good?
Ashland, right?
I don't know.
Ashland?
Honestly, I'm going to defend Bears fans on that. I don't know that Bears fans ever
That's
thought
actually-
Adam Shaheen.
actually a good point.
I think Ryan Pace thought Adam Shaheen was good.
You love
People were
Shaheen.
calling him
Admit it.
Baby Gronk.
Admit it right now.
Chipotle,
You love
right? He's a
Shaheen.
big Chipotle
He
guy or something
Which-
like that.
He did well in Miami, though, for a minute.
They're not using him
For
right. I'm
literally
telling
1
you.
minute, yes.
For like a minute.
He
That's
had
what it
that
said.
one good
For
drive.
like 1 minute.
They're not using him right. If they knew how to use Shaheen, he'd be dominant. You
No,
said
no.
that. You
I never said that.
You said that. On
I never
Spaces.
said that.
You said it.
You didn't even know I existed in 2017, and now
smart.
I've taken over your entire life.
It would have been so good to when I didn't know you exist. My life.
Now
was,
I'm your boss.
Wow.
You are.
Talking to your microphone, your producer had this conversation with you before the show.
You are a pimple on a bull's ass. On what's his name's ass? What was that picture that went around?
Christian Wilkins.
You are a pimple on Christian Wilkins' ass. That's who you are.
He's the helmet that
He was pooping out.
You are the helmet that Wilkins pooped. You are Wilkins poop.
All right, relax.
We go from Bears sign Gerald Everett to Wilkins poop.
well, we can't clip that for a reaction of Gerald Everett signing. Do we restart it?
Restart.
We have breaking news, guys. The Bears signing tight end Gerald Everett.
Guys want to know a fun fact about Gerald Everett?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's drafted 1 pick ahead of
Adam Shaheen.
Adam
How do you
Shaheen.
know that?
Amazing.
I'm
just
impressed
smart.
that you know that.
Nick, what do you got on Gerald Everett?
His best season, you guys, was back in 2022, where he played in 16 games, 58 receptions, 555 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also had 29 first downs for the Chargers. He's been really in that range of the 400-yard mark throughout his career. 411 yards last year, 51 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Trying to look up his best game that he had last season. as definitely more of a receiving tight end. He has 4.62 speed.
He's been healthy. Keep going. The most catches he's ever had in a season is 58. The most yards he's had in a year is 555. What else you got?
Last season, looking at his best game that he had would have been against Tennessee in week 2, where he had 47 yards and 3 receptions. Did not have a touchdown in that game. They had a lot of weapons in Los Angeles, so it's not like he was the first option there. But I remember just watching some games. He's a guy that will fight for yards after the catch. I can probably, as you guys talk about him a little bit more, I can look a little bit more into it.
You did just say he'll fart for yards, right?
Did I say fart?
I think you definitely said that Everett will fart for yards, which is a great effort by Everett.
That means he's working.
You get that extra effort. He will tweak up his entire stomach system to get you 1 more inch. That is our guy, Gerald Everett. Brilliant move by Pace. This is the signing we've been waiting for.
We still haven't come up with a name for this 1 o'clock hour.
No, we're
but
gonna
we really.
I did type up a bunch of suggestions we could talk about after.
Yeah,
the
we
show.
do need to have a name for
Jake
this.
Flanagan's in his office celebrating this Gerald Everett signing. I think it's because of the philosophy.
If we could pivot a little bit off of this, does this kind of take the Bears out of the Brock Bowers sweepstakes at pick number 9?
I'm not sure they were ever really in.
Yeah,
I would take him.
I don't know if they were ever out either.
Yeah, I just don't think tight end is a big enough need. Unless they were to trade back, then maybe Brock Bowers. But look, this is a guy, 58 receptions 2 years ago with the Chargers. He's always been, last 4 years, he's had at least 41 in every single season. So if you think about it that way, that's a hell of a lot more of a contribution than Robert Tonyan gave you last year. And so this ideally just takes a little bit of pressure off Cole Kmet to have to play both tight end positions. And we already know Shane Waldron likes to use a lot of tight end sets, be in 12 personnel, maybe sometimes 13. So I think this is just a solid player that should be an upgrade over Robert Tonyan, and that's all you really need to think about it.
Yeah,
as.
Waldron is a former tight end coach, right? And so he's, guy that likes to utilize tight ends. So, I agree with you that I don't think they're going to draft Brock Bowers as enticing of
Well, then the other side of this is now he's leaving the Chargers. Do the Chargers go for him at pick number 5, potentially opening up another wide receiver for the Bears?
right. And to that point, with the Falcons signing Darnell Mooney, are they going to not look at wide
You're saying
receiver
the
at
Chargers
8?
take Bowers at 5?
Yeah, it's very possible. I've seen that in several mock drafts.
I think they're going to
Jim
take.
Harbaugh there?
I'd
I think they're going to take Joe Alt.
By the way, Gerald Everett was
That'd be good,
with Shane Waldron in Seattle a few years ago, his 1 year in Seattle. Shane Waldron was the OC.
Gary Ross in the chat reporting Bears giving Chargers tight end 2-year, $12 million base value
the
deal
same exact contract he just got in his last deal.
with the max value up to $14 million.
Now, to be clear,
6.1 fully guaranteed.
It's not bad at all.
Per source, Gary put.
Well,
Love it.
is Gary Ross, did he copy and paste someone's tweet, or is he actually reporting that? Because I think even Gary Ross is willing to admit here that he's not reporting
Well, like
that.
Gary put that in the chat.
I'm just
Gary
saying,
is my source. And Gary gets his sources, and I don't question Gary.
because all due respect to Gary, that's a very well written out tweet that reads exactly like Adam Schefter.
Yeah, he could have.
Gary actually is Schefter, and he's been feeding Schefter for years.
Now,
And
that would be interesting.
the only reason why Schefter is Schefter is because of Gary.
Let me just read you this tweet
I
from
could
Adam
have been
Schefter, and we can see if we can figure this out. But Bears are giving former Chargers tight end Gerald Everett a 2-year, $12 million base value deal with a max value up to $14 million. That includes $6.1 million fully guaranteed per source.
Per source, per Schefter, per Gary Ross.
Did
per
Schefter
weight.
just
I'm telling you,
They
Gary.
have to-
plagiarize Gary Ross?
They could have the same
Schefter
source.
plagiarized Ross.
They
Ross sent that to Schefter. Schefter tweeted it,
Plagiarism.
and Schefter is in trouble. Gary says he said ESPN after. Hey, listen. I'll take Ross over Schefter any day of the week, times 10.
For the
too.
record, Gary, just so we're clear, I am not bashing you as much as I am bashing my
Greg,
co-host here,
for
who just
reading.
reads that like Gary Ross reports.
Gary's our guy. Gary's our insider. So screw Adam Schefter.
He's our Shefty.
Yes.
Yeah.
CHGO's Shefty.
Yeah.
Gary. Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
All right,
Yeah.
more supers, please, for the love of God. This show's going 2 hours. Ebony Sales, $5. Ryan Pace is the guy who paid Mike Glennon and drafted Justin Fields. That is an accurate super chat. We appreciate it. Cornell Bryant, $1.99. Whenever Fields leaves, Ryan or Jimmy for backup?
Ryan or Jimmy for
Garoppolo?
His name is Tyson Bagent. You will not take that slander and put that in this chat any of those emotions.
Because that's the other aspect.
Who's Ryan?
Matt Ryan,
Matt
maybe?
Ryan? He's already on TV.
Ryan
Don't
Tannehill?
Retired, right? What? Oh, yeah, it could be Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill?
I mean,
Could be a
that would
Because that's the other
backup.
point of the argument, too, is like, okay, if they're going to trade Fields and draft Caleb Williams, and all these backup veterans are going off the board, are you entrusting Tyson Bagent to be the backup to a rookie? Because if not, you might want to pick up one of these, veteran quarterbacks. And Drew Lock did make a lot of sense with his history of with Shane Waldron, and now he's off the board. So if that is the route they're already going to go and they're just waiting on the right deal for Justin, that doesn't stop you from signing a veteran backup quarterback.
Chris Bergero, $50 super chat. Let's just be clear. Anybody who thinks Justin Fields is completely off the market is absolutely idiotic. Let's just be honest. Rapp never said he was off the market. He was just not being shopped. When I see he's off the market, I think it's idiotic.
Thank you, Chris Bergero.
Right. They're going to take phone calls on anybody. But are they calling to offer is the question.
If you think that Ryan Poles did not have conversations about trading Justin Fields in Indianapolis that entire week he was there,
What was he there for?
I once again would say he would not be doing his job properly then. Monster Mash, $1.99. Forget Caleb. I would rather have J.J. McCarthy.
Okay. Going out on that.
Hot take.
I would not.
The Monster Mash. It was the Monster Mash. He wants JJ. He is the Monster Mash. On to Jeremy Carper, $4.99. Hang in there, guys. Let's just zoom out to 5 years from now, and we have our franchise quarterback. Good times are coming. Appreciate you all.
Let's go, Jeremy.
Super Bowl Jeremy.
44 more days.
$5 from Jesse Orozco's The Living Life. Can we all just get along? Let polls cook. Bear down 2024. We're trying, man. We are getting along. We're all getting along. We're having conversations. We're like a family. We're a messed up, delusional, dysfunctional, pathetic, amazing family. Nuke Q. $4.99. Taco Bell is 100% the move, just like drafting Caleb at 1 and Rome hopefully at 9. P.S. Still mad Taco Bell took away the
Quesaritos.
Yeah, Taco Bell's been
We
taking
all
off
are.
a lot of
We
things
all
off
are,
the menu.
Nuku.
If this show keeps going, you could sell me on Taco Bell just because I'll be hungry.
I'm starving.
I can't. I got to get out of here for the 4:30.
No one cares.
Well,
$5 from Joseph
Okay.
Withrow. Didn't put a message on there, but sent us a super chat.
Thank you, Withrow.
Duke 2.0 back in here. Yes, pull tabs, a lottery ticket, just like draft picks. Boom, full circle moment. Okay, I'm done. Braggs wins today.
I win.
Good job, Rex.
My favorite part about this whole Braggs and Duke versus me thing is they both think the Bears are drafting Caleb.
yes, they do.
I just wanted to summarize that.
Isaac Siegel, $10. Fields to the Vikings for a conditional third to a second with playtime incentive, or go to the Pats for a fifth this year and a fifth next year. Which would you take?
For a conditional third. To
Do you want him to go to the Vikings? Do you want him to go to the Pats?
So you get
Vikings
better
for more,
compensation
Pats for
the
less.
Vikings.
I will trade him to Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'll take the.
Yep.
Although the problem with that conditional thing is you're not getting that pick until 2025 then.
Good point.
But that's fine because that'll be the final piece in our Super Bowl puzzle, and I take the Minnesota pick too. Up next, Withrow.
$5 from Joseph Withrow. Do you guys get the sense that if we pick Caleb, he's going to suck? And if we stick with Fields, he's going to suck? I don't know. Just feels so Chicago, never ending.
Just remember, in Kansas City, they never figured it out, and then they figured it out. His name was Patrick Mahomes. Not saying that Caleb was going to be that, but the point is that Kansas City thought they would never get it right, and eventually they did. So you get it right, you get it right.
It happens.
The Cubs won a World Series one time.
The Bulls
It
were never
happened.
going to get it right, and they lost the coin flip. Magic Johnson goes to the Lakers. They got David Greenwood. 84, they got it right. Thank you, Portland.
Next.
Anybody? Next.
I mean, that's
Next.
Eddie B says for $2, Nick's day off.
This was during the heated debate between you and
Oh,
Braggs.
yeah. I'd let
I was taking the day off too.
I was just listening. Sorry.
Hey,
You both should have my
we
back
got
more.
into it, you know? It's a good debate.
I'd rather have that than you guys agreeing for an entire show. You know, like I think that makes for better.
We don't have that problem on this show.
podcast. Yeah.
$9.99 from Dakota Cooper. In regards to trading back and still drafting a quarterback, has a team with the number 1 pick ever done that? If you have conviction on a guy, you take the guy. You don't risk him not being there. What do you think of that, Braggs?
I agree. You got to take Caleb Williams.
It's actually a good question. I'm sure it's happened, but off the top of my head, trading back and then still taking
Quarterback?
now, like I would say in the first round. I'm sure it's happened where then you like take one in the third.
It'd be the boldest thing of all time for him to trade Justin, draft somebody else, and think that he's got it right. The rest of the NFL's got it wrong.
Because I can give you one example where it happened later. The 49ers, when they traded back with the Bears, Mitch Trubisky draft, they drafted C.J. Beathard in the third round.
I'll give you an NBA example of it. Danny Ainge traded back, picked the third, took Jason Tatum, and Markelle Fultz sucked. That was there's one.
That's not the NFL.
No, but it's a good example, and I should get points for that full right there. Good job, Carm.
Jason McKenna, $5. Real talk. You ever seen Seinfeld? George was successful when he did the opposite of what he would normally do. The Bears should also keep Justin. Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Don't worry, 213, $5. Wife is getting me tickets to my first Bears game this upcoming season. Which game would be the best? Bears fan since 2020. I would recommend not going to the Packer game because they will lose that game.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Hoge. Go to the Packer game. Best rivalry. Don't get involved if money is no object. Otherwise,
Money's no object. Go to London.
I was gonna say go to London.
sure, but that's not what she just said. These just said tickets, not flights and whatnot.
Proper gent, $2. New theory: the Duke equals Justin Fields himself.
No. Duke is the Duke. There is only one Duke. He is the Duke.
Hands down, $199. Love CHGO. Bear effing down.
Hell yeah.
The Duke.
Thank you, hands down.
The Duke. Another $20 from the Duke. 100% brag. Selective hearing from Cram and Hoge.
You got to have that with Braggs, and you know it, Duke.
My job here is to try to talk sense into these guys. That's what they brought me here for. So that's simply what I tried to do today.
Has anybody ever worn the sweater that you're wearing that doesn't work for the Bears?
Yes. It's a nice Mitchell & Ness sweater. Got the nice little Bears logo on the sleeve.
I think it's nice.
Did you buy that for yourself?
Yeah.
You walked into a store and picked that out and said, yes, I want this.
I did. Nice, man.
I like
Mitchell &
it. I like
Ness.
I like it.
How much did you pay for that sweatshirt?
A lot.
Like how much?
Probably like $80, 80.
Oh,
80,
yeah. It was
100.
probably like 140.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst.
140?
I mean, they're
look
not
like
cheap.
you-
Definitely not cheap.
I wouldn't pay $140 for
You look like
any type of sweater.
you look like a 6-year-old. Let's go with the Duke.
I think it looks good.
I know you do. But
I thought it looked good until you said it was $140.
I mean, Mitchell
pay
&
for
Ness stuff
style.
is expensive,
You gotta
man.
pay. Yeah, you gotta pay for style. The
No,
Duke
you're-
2.0. I'm not a Fields guy. I'm a used logic guy. When people sell their houses high, what usually happens is they rent for a year and come back to a market that's even higher and ends up priced out home ownership. LOL. Didn't we kind of talk about the renting and
Yeah.
Duke's
Yeah.
just,
Duke
hellfire and brimstone.
this
On Adam
this
Hoge.
could be the biggest Duke day of all time. This is phenomenal.
multiple Duke stuff?
Yeah, he just sent another $50 one too. My point, Pole's being smart, not feeling the pressure. He's making sure Caleb is the guy before he'd move off of Fields, unless he gets a mega offer. Likely he will take what we thought he'd get mid-round once he puts Justin Fields actually on the market.
So you're saying that the market hasn't changed and
That he was never on the market.
that Poles hasn't lost anything by letting this play out the way he's let it play out. Let's hope that's the case. Because if he did do the other, then it would be unfortunate. And
I'm done talking about this. Please go to the next one.
okay.
We got Slim Tony, $2. Duke spending the money, and number one still ends up being traded.
But that's what the Duke agrees that's what's happening. $5 from Mike Capizzi. You guys don't think Justin is plan B, and that's where we disagree. If Justin is plan B, it makes sense that we will wait on Caleb's medical. Okay.
Yeah, if he's playing B.
Okay. Jake
For
Flanagan.
the record, once again, I think Justin should be plan B. I don't think he is. They're two different things.
Jake Flanagan.
$1.99. Hoge reporting greater than national reporting is a fact. Thank you, boss.
Jake.
You just got a raise for that one. Next up is
$1.99 raise.
Hey, that's can get
Well,
you.
he's also the Duke, so
It can get you half a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Why do people pay $4 for coffee? Stop doing that. It's bad for business. It's bad for us. Draw the line, people. One of my least likely fights of all time. $20 from Ebony Sales.
Yeah.
Sales.
Sail away. If Ryan Poles thinks he needs a quarterback in the first round, then he has already made a decision about Justin Fields. The complete blackout of their intentions for this long is a misstep by Ryan Poles. Could
Way to
be.
look at it. Yeah, one way to look
It would
at it.
be
Yep,
if
yep.
that's what was happening, but that's not what's happening. So,
Yeah, Ebony, or it is there's just no market for him, Ebony.
yes, which is what it is.
$5 from Michael Lorenz. In the last 20 years, when has drafting a quarterback first overall worked out for that team? Learn from the past.
That's 21 one's drafting a quarterback first overall.
Well, I mean, Trevor Lawrence in
that
Jacksonville. Still
Yeah.
got to wait that one out.
I mean,
Look, I know Bryce Young had a terrible season last year, but see what he can do when he has weapons. Like, way too early to be out on him, too. So,
I mean, Andrew Luck.
and yeah.
there's
Pretty good.
plenty of number one
good.
overall picks who have won Super Bowls and the like. Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning.
All right,
Yeah.
17 more guys somehow. Ryan Marshall, $10. Are we running the risk of neither guy, Caleb or Justin, wanting to come into this toxic environment that will be haunted by the ghost of what fans think could have been with the other guy?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
for whatever the decision is. Then there's a lot of pressure for
A lot of passionate fans.
you know
here.
the team to get it right, the coaches to develop it right, and the player to
It's never happened, too.
be the
right?
guy.
Yeah.
$2 from the Schrammer. Thank you, Robert Schramm. You're the man. Schramm Cam. Let's get it going. Let's do it. Schramm Cam. Next up is
James Marsh to, I don't know what that currency is. Love you guys, but I'm backing Hoge. That's my guy.
Take
Yeah.
That Braggs.
Great names, James.
Well, screw you,
Phenomenal
James.
name.
How's that sound?
The way that March
March.
comes in there and just
Don't talk to
marches
James
all
like
over.
that.
Yeah, you show respect to James March.
The whole
Sorry,
they named the
James.
whole month after that guy.
March.
Yeah, true.
$10 from John Collins. This is simple. Fields started.
Shitty month.
This is
Wow,
simple.
March Madness.
Fields strong enough to lead this team. The team had holes it needs to fill. When they do that, and they are doing that, magically Fields and the Bears, we made much better. John, he has been playing with a lot of holes, and they do have to fill holes.
And once again, those holes can still be filled.
Yes.
By drafting Caleb.
Yep.
$2 from a guy by the name of the Duke. I think we've heard of him. I mean, 1989 from the 2.0 Duke. Thank you very much. He literally said this year at the year-end press conference, quote, not to use the same phrase as last year, but it'd have to be blown away. Again, selective hearing in your old age, cramps.
That's not what he said, though. Carman was talking about the Combine press conference, which was remarkably different from last year's Combine press conference. And hear me out on this one. Maybe they are blown away by Caleb Williams.
$1.99 from Dax ZQ. Give me Huntley greater than Justin, same type of quarterback. Okay, thank you, Dax ZQ. And then, John Mariotti. Been waiting for Mariotti all day. $9.99. What's up, Mariotti?
Not Jay's brother.
Serious question. When did the Bears actually state they were trading Justin Fields? I know it's a logical assumption, but is it possible they are trading down for a build at him?
When they didn't fully commit to him, when they could have done that multiple times. I think that's when they put him on the trade block.
If your point, Robert, is that they've never come out and said we are trading Justin Fields, that is an accurate super chat.
And also be careful, John, when you're super chatting and driving at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, don't do that
Braggs knows that one.
I've been known to do that before.
He's wanted in 6 states. The Schrammer is back.
Shram Cam.
Back for $5 more. You're right. Nothing makes sense until you consider that Poles wants to keep JF1 and get a haul after Caleb Williams' pro day. Then it all makes sense. There you go.
There you go, Robert.
Shrimp Cam. We knew you could get there. We're there too. The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bee. That's aggressive. Congratulations in the line. You're the first guy that. I think this is your inaugural appearance on the CHGO Bears podcast. Which, by the way, if you're
that's
new,
a book.
hit the subscribe button. We are here Monday through Friday at noon. We are here for your pre and post. We are here for breaking news. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Take us from 50,500. We're trying to get to 51 next.
Let's go.
There you go. The Lion, the Witch, and the Audacity. Hoge versus the Duke in the Octagon with Soldier Field as the hosting venue. No, they just hug it out and that'd be the end of it. It wouldn't be funny. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be entertaining.
Back $5. Apologize for the jumbled super chat. Phone account is shot. Phone acting up. Something like that.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's still acting
Appreciate
up.
it, John.
Thank you
You're
for the
best.
super chat and the support.
We appreciate you, John. And
Oh, God. I don't know if I like this one. Luke, $5. Lots of speculation everywhere, but the real question we need an answer for: when do we get a throat goat T-shirt?
I don't think there's
I
one
don't know
coming.
if I want that.
Luke, that won't be coming, buddy.
why not? Why can't we do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just not. Yeah.
is that our style? We're a classy organization.
Yes.
Okay.
Carm's
throat
number
goat
one
shirt?
supporter, Philip Pizzatola. Great debate. Best show in weeks, except Carm.
Yeah, I love you. I
even
love
say
you,
anything.
Pizzy Tola. Braggery.
Alex, $5 offer big money to Hunter from Vikes or draft a few of his position. Also take Bragg's phone and laptop away for the love of Pete. Hashtag Karma rule.
No,
My guy.
no,
Yeah, man.
Don't worry about
not
it.
getting from my cold dead hands.
Just sit there and stare at your phone. Who's next?
Vortex 1988. Gotta love the Duke getting baited into paying Hoge's salary.
Duke's not worried about that. Money
too
means
much
nothing to
money.
the Duke.
Too much money for the Duke.
It's chump change for Duke.
We got another one here from Patrick Wetzels. $15 unknown currency. Caleb is showing diva behavior where Justin would walk through walls for the Bears. Do you select on attitude rather than potential talent? Greetings from your Dutch friend Patrick.
What's up, Dutch friend Patrick?
Patrick, appreciate the super chat. Would love to ask you a follow-up question, though. Name one thing that Caleb Williams has done that's diva behavior.
He's literally staying the latest of anybody at the combine, thanking everybody who's helping out. He's talked about leadership and not about being about the money and the fame. A lot of things the Bears would like.
I'm just pushing back on that because I see those comments all the time, but yet when you ask the question, what's your example of diva behavior, no one has an answer.
True.
Yeah. Keep
$2.
going.
Brandon Ussery. Justin Fields would throw for 4,000 yards with Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore.
4,000.
It's a big leap.
Marvin Harrison, very good wide receiver. No doubt.
Brandon Halford, our guy, $5. If people are going to pay money to hate on you guys, I wanted to give some money to let you know I love the show. Makes my work day better every day. Brandon, you make us feel better every day.
Yes, thank you, Brandon.
You are awesome, man. As are you, Nuku. For $1.99, my Nuku. Well, we'll get to that in a second. First, we're doing Farming Bear. Okay, there's my Nuku. Arguable throat goat.
What are we doing here?
Don't worry. Nuku, $1.99. Arguable throat goat. My guy.
Oh,
Thank you, Nuku. All right, now you farming. Farming Bear, $9.99. He's Farming Bear.
No, I should say, who is the arguable
Remember
throat
when we
goat?
had a conversation like 2.5 hours ago where I said that just because you do a super chat doesn't mean we have to put it on the screen and say it out loud?
But it's arguable throat goat.
We're reading 32.
Stop saying it.
You're reading 32 chats. You're gonna push back on the arguable throat. No. Farming Bear, $9.99. People need to realize this isn't something new. Chargers drafted Eli Manning #1 with Drew Brees on the roster. Thank you, Farming Bear.
There you go.
Hope that things are farming well for you.
Alex Amerling, $5. Would still be shocked if we don't end up taking Caleb. Also, Everett is a nice signing. Good yards after the catch guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yak it
Thank you,
up.
Alex.
Yak.
Yakety yak.
Landon D, $2. Is there a world where we get Caleb and trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No.
I doubt it.
That price tag would be
They have
very
very
high.
little draft capital right now.
Proper Gent 199, painting nails and wearing dresses. Claypool vibes. One, he paints his nails because his mom owned a nail salon. Never seen him wearing dresses. And Chase Claypool went in the second round for a reason. Caleb's going number
Just
one.
find reasons to hate on the guy.
Yeah, you're just looking for things.
Yep.
Ben, $5 super chat. I just want Fields to get traded so all these delusional Bears fans that think he's better than Caleb can be quiet.
I would like a decision to come soon, but
Got
Ryan
a
Poles, you do
$5
you.
super chat just for Marcos. No message, but thank you for the support.
Thank you, Marcos.
And it looks like this is the last one. Chase, $5. Why is Carm making fun of Bragg's shirt when Carm is wearing a 1980s Armenian sweater vest? Love you, Carm. LOL.
First of all, this was a gift from
Armenian.
my niece, and this is high-quality material. Thank you very much. What are you pointing at?
Oh, I'm just saying.
This is good. This is good stuff, man. This is what's that fancy place that I like? That's overpriced, and they wouldn't let me return this thing that I tried to return. No offense to everybody.
TJ Maxx.
I love TJ Maxx. It's a great place, but no,
Have a lot
this
of
is
stuff
from what's that high price place that wouldn't let me return this and get what I wanted?
Nobody knows what the hell
Armani.
you're talking about.
No.
Like
You know the
1,001.
place.
I have no idea.
With the $60 shorts and the $100.
Is that Lululemon?
Lululemon, yeah,
That's
that
it?
one.
Oh, okay.
Lulu.
Yeah, this is Lulu, man.
Got it.
Hey, Lulu's comfortable.
Okay.
I didn't.
So you overpaid too.
Casey Neistat.
I wanted to
was in
return
a
it. They wouldn't let me
commercial for
return it
Lululemon.
because Lulu's lame. Hey, our new diehards.
So wait, you got a gift,
Yeah.
and then you wanted to return it for money.
No, I wanted to exchange it for something I wanted.
So now, it's not very nice of you. I guess
It looks nice
If
anyway.
I was your niece, I'd never get you another gift again.
Grace Carman, 3 goals and assists yesterday. 8-2 win over Amundsen to start the season. Got Loyola today. Let's go. All right. Kendrick, you're a new diehard. Thank you to our new diehards. Kendrick is Hoge. He's the guy you want on the mound. He's money in the clutch. He's Kendrick. And what about Josh? So sweet. So lovely. Underrated athlete. Welcome to the diehards, Josh. And Kent.
Clark Kent?
Under the radar, you're right. He's a true hero. Will put himself in harm's way for the good of humanity. Kent. We love you, Kent. And then our guy, Matt. I feel like he's with us right now. Versatile. Elite talent. Took him a minute to lean into his talents, but ultimately he followed his dreams. It's our guy, Matt.
Matt.
Thank you. And then Steven.
Steven.
Focused. When others are out on a Saturday night doing their thing, he's working. He steps right in. He leads. There's nothing he won't do
Huge biceps.
to reach success. Huge biceps. Focused. Loves a good scrambled egg in a to-go case. Steven.
Okay. We done?
We did just get a couple more super chats.
Couple.
We'll read them real quick.
The lion, the witch, and the whatever. Just $5 super chat. Justin will flourish somewhere else and prove he was the guy. Caleb, I think, will be good, but for
A lot of reasons.
I don't see him living up to the hype. A lot of hype. Going to be a lot for him to live up to. Let's hope he does if he's here in Chicago. The Duke finishing it
This
up.
is a good way to end
2.0.
it, too.
Putting a bow here on a 2.5 hour show. We did 4 hours yesterday. All for you fine people. $20 super chat from the Duke. I loved Hoge. We just disagree on this. I followed him at NBC and came to CHGO once he came here. Hoge is, in my opinion, the best Bears coverage guy out there. Nothing but love to you, Hoge.
What great way to end.
The end.
Thank you, Duke.
The end is right. That was amazing.
What a show.
Love it.
Okay. Braggs will be on Spaces for the next 6 hours. If you haven't, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button.
You know what?
I'm going to go
for
take
you-
a nap.
Just for you fine people, on my drive home while I'm stuck in traffic, I will do Die Hard Overtime immediately following this show. So if you haven't already, sign up, become a Die Hard, allchgo.com/diehard. You can come over to our Discord channel. We do voice channels where you can ask me or any of my co-hosts, if they happen to jump in, questions about some of the topics of today or some of the other free agent news traveling around the league. So I'm going to be on that as soon as I get in my car here in about 10
Duke,
minutes.
I love you. Justin Fields, you're still a good quarterback. For the love of God, I'm ending the show right now. We'll talk to you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.